everybody. Welcome back. Welcome one. Welcome all. Welcome to the RageSelect podcast. It is time for another RageSelect podcast right here on RageSelect. I'm Jeff.
Hi, I'm Bryce.
Bryce, you're back.
I'm back.
You're back for the podcast.
I know. I'm happy to be back on.
Yeah.
It's an episode where there's not like a big keynote. I had to check the news stories today, make sure there wasn't like some 4-hour showcase from Xbox that I was.
Yeah. But we got a lot. We got some action. We got some drama. We got some. We got some. Jeff has mixed feelings about things. We got a lot of controversy. I don't know. It's an exciting week. Exciting week for the RageSelect podcast. Yeah. But before we get into it, I'm kind of torn, Bryce, because I watched a movie last week and it was just fine, but I spent most of last week getting really obsessed with a game that came out earlier this year that I feel like is, I don't know. What do you know about Clair Obscur Expedition 33?
Oh, I own Clair Obscur Expedition 33.
Okay.
Are you jumping into it now?
The thing is that we played it for the show, and the first hour was a little slow. Like you have this whole build up, and then you get to the island, and then even then it's a little slow. Sure. But man, once you get past those first 2 hours, that thing kicks into high gear, and it's every single complaint I've had about a Japanese role-playing game, a lot of the complaints I've had about Western role-playing games. I love the battle system. I love the characters. I love that stuff keeps happening. I think that it being from a French development studio means that everything's got this kind of different flair to it. I think the levels are really interesting. The whole thing is also soaked in so much mystery that it's like just dragging me forward, because you start out in this world where people have like weird superpowers, and everybody above a certain age just Thanos snaps whenever this giant lady paints a number on a rock, and you're like, what? And then you get to the island, and
they do a good job of painting the desperation of the society, right? Where, the long story short is like year by year, older and older people, younger and younger people from the older end of the age.
Right.
They're killing the old people.
They're
old
doing
people
a Logan's Run. There's nobody above the age of 33 will exist. It's the internet's dream come true. But no, the thing is that I think that one of the things about it that has really grabbed me is just that there's so much mystery to how this world works, and you're getting these tiny little expositionary dumps in a great pacing. Like every couple hours you're getting a cutscene, you're getting some information, you get something where you're like, wait a minute, so if that works like that, then what does this mean? And then the game takes some, I don't want to spoil anything, because there's some big swings that happen in this game where I was like, oh shit. And I don't think that any of this came, the marketing for this was very video game marketing, and it was just showing here's the battle system, here's what an enemy looks like, and it's very striking to look at. But I don't know, I've been obsessed with it. I'm 40 hours in, and I'm just like, if we weren't doing this podcast, I'd be playing it right now. I can't wait to go back. I love the characters, I love the writing, I love the voice acting. The some of the production value was a little slippy in a couple of places. I don't love the fact that it's all Unreal 5 based, so it's got that weird, grainy, crunchy kind of UE5 look to it. But other than that, it's I'm kind of surprised that I know it got good scores, and there's I feel like a lot of critics and people keep talking about it, but I'm kind of surprised that more people aren't more emphatic about it. Because really, once you get over that first chunk, I love the battle system. The game lets you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Talking about the marketing, I remember part of the release hype was it's a traditional turn-based battle system, right? But then also it's funny, they call it a traditional turn-based battle system, but then it also does have dodge and parry mechanics in it, so it's not exactly whatever.
Yeah.
And so I think between that and then also it's not a full $70-$80 game. It's only $50 or something. So it's a really interesting case of not just executing really well on a big fantasy speculative story, but then also to execute it in kind of a tight little package. The idea that it doesn't it's not 100 hours long. I don't know how far you are in your 40 hours of it, but I at least that's the response I've seen from the game.
Did you play it all the way to the end?
No, I only got a couple of hours into it before I jumped onto something else, but I keep meaning to get back to it because I did like that opening, the first few opening beats, when you get to the island and start trying to figure out what's going on.
I'd really encourage if you get a chance to go back because, like I said, I think that like right around 2.5, 3 hours, it starts to pick up. You start to get into like the combat system starts to bloom a little bit. You start seeing the way that all the different the pieces fit together. Like it's got this really interesting system where you can equip like 3 different skills on each character, but then after you win 4 fights with those skills equipped, they become like mastered for the entire party.
Right.
And then you have like a system of points where you have like each skill costs a certain number of points, and then each character has a certain number of points, so you can like equip these passive skills. And that means that like one of the most common pickups in this game are just this thing that gives you more of those points. And unlike a lot of other games with like crafting materials, every time I get one of those points, I'm like, hell yeah. I'm like 3 more points away from having like 50% more fire damage set on rather than where I have right now. There's a lot, it starts out kind of like medium, but there's like a huge number of weapons and upgrades and different types of builds, and every character has like a different style of attacking. There's like an overworld component to it that's like reminiscent of kind of old Final Fantasy games, except there aren't random encounters. Like every enemy is on the map and you can choose whether you want to attack them or not. I don't know. The whole thing is just like, it's really well put together, and I don't know. It takes a lot for me to get hooked by an RPG, any RPG at this point. And
I mean, it helps.
Yeah.
I don't know. The writing of that game helps in that it's not, the kind of classic RPG, like triple confirming that you understood everything.
Right. No, that's part of what I really like about it is the fact that like the game trades on mystery, so they're not making sure that you know everything. They're like, pay attention, dumbass, like where people are talking. And I don't know. The longer it goes on, the more impressed I am with it, and I'm just about to get into the kind of the final third, I think, of the game. Right. But yeah, I really, really recommend it. Like, it's been such a breath of fresh air, and I guess there was like a discourse online this week about like Square Enix should make this is the new type of like they should go back to turn-based for Final Fantasy. Look how good Expedition 33 did, and they've been floundering with all their real-time BS. I don't know. Like, all I'll say is that it's been a while since I've played an RPG where the story was able to drag me forward so compellingly that like I just keep going. And it's also really well divided into little chunks. You can do a dungeon in a night. You can do a dungeon in 2 hours. It's not too hard. And I don't know. It's good. It's a good video game.
He's
Go
in a
play
more,
it.
Everybody. It's a big pizza pie.
Yes. How about you, Bryce? You play anything? Nice. You watch anything? You do anything good?
This week was good timing. I want to say maybe about a month ago, I wrapped up the Rise of the Golden Isle, the second DLC pack that they put out. But I didn't realize when I did that I was already like 2 months late. And so now I turned up Steam and they had the third pack open.
Yep.
And available. And so I played through the first case of that already. And I really like what they're doing with the Rise of the Golden Idol with the DLC packs. Mm-hmm. They're not too big. I found that they're probably like 45 minutes long, maybe an hour if you're really getting kind of hooked into it. But they're nice and kind of bite-sized, and I also really appreciate... I was worried that after the first DLC pack that they put out, it's centered around this investigator who's in the main story for The Rise of the Golden Idol.
Yeah.
And he's a fine character, but they kind of just like pop him in there so that he can be like Sherlock Holmes for the...
right.
As a Sherlock Holmes kind of character. So the first DLC also follows that guy. And I was really worried they were all going to be like, oh, we're really going to be with this guy. Especially with the way that DLC ends.
Right.
But they don't. The second one is about... the second and... They're both like really dive into the alternate civilizations in the world of Golden Idol, right? The Lemurians. And so the first, so that second case is really good because you're kind of doing some timeline switching. You're trying to figure out who's who and who actually did the murder. But then this third one that I just opened up, it takes place in ancient Lemuria, right? The Lemuria is the civilization with the magic power. That's where the golden idol comes from.
Yeah.
But the twist is that it's highly futuristic. They have a bunch of technology, right? You actually are, supposedly the setup is you're actually going to watch them clamp down on all of this technology, and I don't know, maybe ruin.
I mean, like, I would put a spoiler tag there, but I feel like the trailer for it already gives that whole thing away. But yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I never see Amanda and I played all the way through Golden Idol 2. And then we got to DLC, we played the first one, and we made kind of like a pact that I wouldn't just go devour the entire thing before we made, like, you know, in case we wanted to record it or if we just want to play it together, because we had a really good time playing that as like a team. And I'm glad to hear that it veers off of the investigation stuff, because I think that our momentum in that game was a little stymied by the first DLC, because it was like, wait a minute, there was this huge unanswered question, this incredibly large cosmological question of a character that kind of just went away at the end of the main storyline. And I was assuming that the DLC was going to explain more about them. And then suddenly the DLC focused on this other guy.
Right.
So, yeah.
Now I have to go back to the main campaign to figure out because I'm lost. Now I'm lost.
Well, there was we
don't need to get into legislative, but like, but it's really cool. They're really building out this world of the Golden Idol in a way that's not like, you could look at the second game and just go like, oh, okay, they did the first game, but now it's in the 1970s. But it's in the 70s version of their weird, crazy world.
Yeah.
And so this third one, I was worried it was going to be everyone's an alien and there's weird alien stuff, but they're doing some interesting things. They're doing some interesting things with that.
I saw the trailer. They brought the dance code back. the dance. I think that was Amanda's favorite level of the entire game, where you have to decipher the dance code. So
that's right. And so I really dig it. I also rip to anyone who is playing that on Netflix. I guess you're just gonna have to buy the game, which you should. It's great, and the DLC pack I am recommending.
It's there's supposed to be 4 total, or is it 5? Okay, so the next one will be the last one.
Yeah, I think it says Q3 of this year. So
okay,
they're also keeping these at a really good pace. So hats off to the team.
Excellent. Well, speaking of video games, let's get into it.
Let's talk video games.
Yeah. So last week we had a couple of trailers that are
Wait, no,
connected.
We're not talking about video games. What the fuck?
Oh, that's right. Well, we're sort of talking about video games, because we are talking about the release of the Uncaged Fury teaser trailer with my man Carl Urban. This is a fake Johnny Cage movie trailer with the kind of traditional 80s like overdub, like they took his family, they scratched up his car, big mistake. Like,
can I tell you?
Yeah.
That's the first thing I clicked on in our doc today is this Uncaged Fury teaser trailer.
Yeah.
And watching it, and it's all live action, but it's on the IGN account, and it's really popular. I go, their marketing budget for this new MK2 game is crazy. But then it's not a game. This is not like a bit. It's actually a film we're talking about.
Yeah, the thing is, it was because they rebooted Mortal Kombat into Mortal Kombat 1. When you see a Mortal Kombat 2 Uncaged Fury trailer, you're like, oh, well, obviously for the next game. But
especially because they did a really good job of making this cheap looking.
It looks so much like an 80s movie.
And then I saw the actual trailer, and it's nothing like it. It's like, wow.
No, it's perfect. Carl Urban as Johnny Cage, that's great. That's wonderful. And especially I like the fact that like like Johnny Cage as the Mortal Kombat games have gone on, like is now more portrayed as this like washed up actor, and so having the older Carl Urban be like an older Johnny Cage, I think works really well. But yeah, I love how cheesy this thing is, and I really love Carl Urban, and so I was
Homelander, right? He plays Homelander.
No,
no, oh, okay.
No. He plays Butcher, not Homelander.
Right.
Yeah. So that happened, and then later in the week we got the full-on Mortal Kombat 2 official trailer. Now
Red
this
Band
is
trailer.
Yeah, this
Red
is
Band trailer anymore.
This was very distressing to me.
Really?
Well, okay. I hate that first Mortal Kombat movie. I hate it so much. I love Mortal Kombat, and I felt like they created a new character when they didn't need to. There are a million Mortal Kombat characters they could have used. They created this brand new guy, and he kind of sucked. And then they didn't even do the tournament. It was all like, we're going to train you for the tournament. And so it was like they intentionally went out of their way to avoid all the parts of Mortal Kombat that I like and created this whole new super gritty Mortal Kombat that was very realistic. Everybody was brown, wearing brown robes in the brown land and training, and that and I thought it was boring as hell. I was so mad when it came out. Everybody was like, it's okay. And I was like, no, it's not. Fucking hate it. Hate it so much.
So then I would guess that this trailer, which is chock full of fan service and all of your favorite characters, would maybe ring a little truer.
Yes.
I was watching this and wondering why they were bothering to call it Mortal Kombat 2, since it seemed like you could just call it Mortal Kombat 1.
Right.
And you would get people to watch it.
Right. Well, yeah, so I think it's interesting that they made the decision. I mean, if this trailer is to be believed, this is the Johnny Cage Mortal Kombat movie, right? I barely saw the dumb original dude that they made for the last thing. He's barely
Cole
in here.
Young?
Yeah, Cole Young. Yeah, he's his power is plot armor, Bryce. His Mortal Kombat power is that he generates armor on himself, so he has plot armor.
That's actually clever.
But this is
we heard you. We'll just do the Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah, do the Mortal Kombat movie. Bring in a new protagonist and let Carl Urban call everybody stupid as Johnny Cage. We got a get over here from Scorpion in the trailer. We got some big blasts of color on top of their gray world
version of the soundtrack.
Yes. Yeah. So everything about this looks like exactly what I want. But I'm nervous because I already, when I put my hand on that movie stove and it turns out to burn it, I generally don't go back. I'm like, no, life's too short for this. But I really like what I'm seeing here. I really hope that I'm wrong and that this is a very good movie. Because I don't know. Do you have any love for Mortal Kombat in general, and or does this excite you even a little bit?
This trailer. If I had not watched this trailer for this program, I don't know that I would have given it a look. But I thought that this was really well put together. This doesn't seem. I'm not so dialed in. I don't know the Mortal Kombat lore. I know every time we talk about it, you always know the lore really, really well, and I have no idea. They're punching guys. They just punch each other all the time. I don't know. And so I guess I just have this sense of okay, I guess they just, when they make really any of these fighting game movies, they're going to be either bad or passable, and Mortal Kombat's tend to be bad. So that's the extent of my knowledge.
Well, I think so. It's funny because some fighting games will really lean into their story and pretend like it's serious. Tekken. Takes itself really seriously. Whereas I think in Mortal Kombat over the years has just been yeah, man, it's goofy as shit. The strongest man in the universe is a washed up Hollywood actor, and there's a guy with blades growing out of his arms, and everybody shoots a different colored laser. How awesome is that? And we're all just so awesome. I love it. Give it to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm very hopeful. There's a lot of characters in here. We got Jax with his robot arms. We got Katana showing up with her gravity-defying blade spinning. Jade is in here. That's a good thing. I think Liu Kang was in the original one, but I don't think Scorpion was. I think like Sub-Zero was like the big bad in the last one. And then there's like Ermac, or I think that's Ermac, where he's got the shadow being pulled out of himself. So yeah, it looks like they may be leaning a little bit into that. If that's the case, great. I also really like this, the get over here. He cuts this guy in half. The special effects look terrible. They look awful when this guy splits apart. And I don't know if that's intentional, but if it is, I say bravo, because I don't care. Like it's fine. Like I kind of wanted a certain amount of cheesy, silly crappiness to my Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. What if, man, imagine Mortal Kombat just became like a gore porn series of movies.
Yep.
Just the more we can put on screen, finishers, the better. Just take all the nerds that Warner fired and make them make cutscenes of decapitating people and put it on the movies.
Yeah. Keep them on. Put them on the decapitation squad. So
we gotta come up with a better name for the squad.
Yeah, it's coming out in October. And so I don't know. I'm gonna try. I think the last one.
Are you gonna go see it in theaters?
Well, so the last one I think was put out during COVID, and I think it was one of those like, oh, we're putting it in theaters and on Max on the same day. And so I was like, no, I'm gonna stay at home and watch it on Max. I don't know if the sensible thing to do for a human being.
No, you can say you're going to wait and see.
is wait and see if the user reviews and the critic reviews come in and they're like, this is a pretty good movie, and then you wait 4 weeks and you're like, I'm going to go on a Sunday when everybody's gone to sleep because they have to go to work tomorrow. I'm going to go see it at 8 p.m. in a theater with 3 other people in it. The end.
Now, what if I told you that this one is written by the guy who did Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire?
I would say that makes me way more worried. Oh my
God. He wrote the Netflix Death Note.
Yep.
He was on the screenplay. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't...
but then also the Umbrella Academy. Look, I'm despite the last 3 sentences, I'm not here to judge people. The trailer looks good. I don't know. There's usually like I could tell like it was very like, oh, this is all green screen, this is all CG and all or all on like an Unreal, video stage or something. So it looks like this movie. Which is fine. That's the level of expectations I have for it. Because it's better than taking itself super duper seriously and like trying to make the gore meaningful or anything. Like
there was like back when I worked at Spill like 10, 12 years ago or something like that, there was like a, I don't know if Eddie Shankar was attached to it, but there was this YouTube series where they tried to take Mortal Kombat but then make it very grounded and realistic. It's like, Reptile was like a serial killer that had this skin condition and they call him the Reptile, and like Detective Jackson Briggs with the Louisiana Police Department has been tracking him for 20 years. So I was like, none of that. Outworld Tournament, Shao Kahn, Giant Hammer, Forearm Dude. I want Kitaro. I want people screaming. I don't want any of this like
just need
nonsense.
A tower with 12 icons lined on top of each other and work it out from there.
Yes. If I went to the movie theater and it just started and it just showed the tower and it went to the first one.
Round 1.
And then there was test your might levels in between. Everybody in the theater has to jam on a button. Like it counts the number of people in the theater jamming on the button to see if fucking Sub-Zero can hit the ruby. That's the level I'm on. So, next up, this one has been this is week number 3 of this Subnautica 2 thing. So, Bryce, tell me what you know about the Subnautica 2 fiasco.
Sure. So there are developers out there that made Subnautica, the first game.
Yep.
They're preparing to they're in the middle of making a second game, and their publisher, I guess, with the way that they're, the checkpoints of their game development project, I guess, had been in a position to give the development team like millions of dollars, a huge payout. But also then there's a question of is the game done on time, and the publishers, I guess, trying to delay the game, either to hear them say it to make the game better, but then the developers are saying, hey, this also means that you have an out to not pay us this quite nice bonus.
Yeah, the Krafton bought Unknown Worlds for $500 million, the developer of the first Subnautica, and then there was a clause in their contract that said if they hit a certain sales metric by the end of 2025, that the three owners would get a $250 million bonus on top of that $500 million purchase. 2 weeks ago, I guess all three of those people were mysteriously fired, or they left, and a new guy from a different studio was brought in to helm the thing. And then, so at first...
this was three people.
Yes.
I thought this was like... I mean, I guess it is a small team, so I don't know if these are like working executives or not, but like,
yeah,
I thought it was like a development team would be splitting this 250, not three executives.
The thing is that the three executives, part of this has been that I think it's 10%, 25 million of that was supposed to go to the development crew, and then because the crew had been around for so long, there were some rumors. I was never really able to get a firm handle on this, that like these three had said, hey guys, if we get this big payout, we're going to trickle some of this down to you as well. Like this is a huge payout for all of us. We appreciate your hard work, and we're going to give you some additional bonuses on top of what you're already getting. Because no one wants to put that
on paper until they actually have the cash.
Exactly. So yeah, 2 weeks ago, Krafton kicked the three heads out and brought somebody else on. I had assumed at that point that it was because the heads wanted to delay the game and Krafton wanted to come out, because there had been all this back and forth about release dates and like project metrics. But then last week, it came out from some Reddit posts that apparently the opposite is true, that Unknown World is ready to release this, and Krafton had then was pushing to delay it into 2026, and then it came out that part of that was because, or at least the assumption is that part of that was because this $250 million bonus was because, or it would be applied if it came out.
Yeah,
yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
And so this week we've got some new developments. One is that the three executives, Ted Gill, Charlie Cleveland, and Max McGuire, have now filed a lawsuit against Krafton to basically demand that they be reinstated and that their bonus be added back in. And then part of this has been, as part of their lawsuit, there was a bunch of kind of internal data that came out, and it's kind of created a little bit of ambiguity here. Like, part of it is that apparently there was a development document. There was like 2 screenshots of a development document that came out that said that some of the goals that they had originally projected for the release of this year had to be pushed. So some of the content that they had originally thought was going to be in the early access release was going to be pushed out to next year. Krafton says that is like their reasoning. Now who the hell knows, but like Krafton says that like, oh well, they had to push all this content out, so they were going to have to release a substandard product, and we didn't want that. We wanted the gamers to have the really, really good version, even though everything that I can see seems to say that like this was going to launch into early access, like Subnautica 1 did, with the idea that this is not a finished game and that it would be worked on into 2026 until it was finally completed. Yeah. There's also a whole thing that comes up here where Krafton says that these 3 top people stopped. They were shirking their duties in development because there was a Ted Gill, I believe, with one of the main guys. He was off doing like some movie stuff. He was trying to create like a movie studio. There was a podcast about the development, and they were like, yeah, he wasn't concentrating on development. He had all this other stuff going on. However, these 3 have come back and said, Krafton specifically asked us to shop Subnautica 2 around as like a cross-media product. Yeah. We signed a thing and had meetings with them saying, this will mean that we will have to pull back from development, but it's okay because it's in a good place. We're always there to answer questions, but we will have to move to LA. We will have to start talking to people. We will have to start like doing the process of doing this.
Wow.
There's some other stuff in here. Apparently,
it's so messy. I mean, it's no surprise. I mean, I don't know. People think that executives and the people in charge are, always they're following the book and they're looking up no, they just do what they want, and they they have handshake agreements, and they talk about making a movie, and they talk about their podcast or a book, or this stuff gets really messy. And when you throw a court case into it, it shines a big bright light on how messy and complicated this stuff gets.
Yeah. I mean, but like there's more here even than that. They allege that once Krafton decided that they didn't want this to come out in 2025, they started actively sabotaging development. Like they pulled marketing material. They told the localization team they had hired to stop all work on localization. There's apparently there's a story that Krafton told like their own staff to stop communicating with Unknown Worlds. There's a lot going on here, and the thing is that it's unclear. I mean, like, you know, I'm inclined to side with the developers, but that's just a default impulse on my end. So, you know, the whole thing will go to court. There will be a court case about it. We will obviously probably be getting more information there. I don't really buy the like Subnautica 2 was in a crappy state to launch into early access. I mean, like, even if that's true, which the developers and a lot of people internally have said, like, we don't think that was the case, but even if that was true, there are a lot of games that launch crappily into early access and then become fucking Game of the Year contenders by the time they're totally done. Like, so I don't see that.
You can spend a lot of time in early access and get popular and still have a 1.0 moment.
Yeah.
Like, but this doesn't even read as that, right? It doesn't even read as they're skittish about you know, having a live service. They're just saying we're taking our hands off everything, you know,
right?
I mean, ordering people to not work or to not communicate. Like, I'm sorry, I thought you two businesses were working together.
A couple other things. There was also a report apparently that they had that the heads of Unknown Worlds and Krafton executives had like a meeting, like a lunch meeting, where according to at least the Unknown Worlds people, it was directly translated from one of the Krafton employees that like it would be embarrassing for our company if you were to launch in 2025, like that was explicitly stated to them as a way to try to get them to like back down. I will say it took me a while, but I was able to. I really need to just pay for Bloomberg News and read this shit directly from Jason Schreier. That like apparently Krafton has come back and said that they are willing to take the $25 million for the individual developers like bonus and put it back on the 2025 table. But obviously, you know, as a way to attempt to mollify the people who work there, because that's way less than having to pay the $250 million bonus.
You get a huge discount.
Right. So
this is such a mess. And because there's so much money in the middle of it, everyone has a very, very strong motive to want it to go their way.
Yes.
You know, $250 million. I mean, I know Subnautica 1 did well, but that is crazy to me. That's crazy to me to begin with.
Even just $500 million purchase, like obviously that happened during the COVID insanity, right? When there was like all of these mergers and acquisitions and stuff like that. And now, you know, the entire industry is shrinking crazily. And I think that Kraft is just having buyer's remorse of like, hey, the numbers aren't what they used to be, but we already signed the paper to do this. And so like, fire these motherfuckers. What are they going to do? And apparently they're going to sue them, and we're going to find out how that goes. So I don't know.
Best of luck to the developers. I hope that this doesn't fuck them over.
Yeah, me too. That's that's where we are right now. I guess if we get more to it, then we will have more to say. But at the moment, that's kind of all we got. Yeah, I'm still siding with the founders and developers over the publishing company. But who knows?
I mean, there is a weirdness there of it. Like there was a big pot of money going to the 3 executives, and then pinky promise we're going to give it out. Okay, this is a very strange thing. I don't feel good for anyone involved.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Speaking of studio founders and whatnot, there's a strange, I don't know, this is a very strange thing that happened. Okay, so I don't know if anybody remembers this, but a little while back it was announced that Ubisoft has taken a huge investment from Tencent to basically spin all of their most profitable properties off into a separate division from Ubisoft. I don't entirely know.
That's insane to me.
Yeah, how this is going to work, but
don't you know what publishing is? You have to mix the goods with the bads, otherwise it's...
Yeah, they got $1.25 billion from Tencent to spin off. I think it's like Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, and Rainbow Six, and maybe one other thing into, I think, the Division, maybe into its own separate organization that is not Ubisoft. So it's like, I guess, like, rather than trying to do the hard work of like restructuring the business and stuff, because Ubisoft has a kind of a bad reputation as far as I can understand in the industry right now from a work perspective, right? People don't really want to work there. They don't pay very well, et cetera, et cetera.
They are historically not a good publisher.
Yeah.
I feel like it was like 10 years. Remember the Driver San Francisco?
Yes.
We hate Ubisoft. Sorry.
But it was announced this week that who will be in charge of this new arm of Ubisoft, and it is none other than Yves Guillemot's kid, Charlie Guillemot, who, okay, so who is Charlie Guillemot, you might ask? What has he done to deserve to be in charge of some of the largest franchises in all of video game history? Yeah. The answer is basically nothing. This is a nepotism hire. He worked for a while at the Division. Yeah, he worked at Alliant, which was a division of Ubisoft that made mobile games. Specifically, he worked on that Tom Clancy's Elite Squad, which had the dubious honor of using the raised fist kind of Black Power iconography for the terrorist woke bad guys in the game that all the Rainbow Six guys have to shoot in the face. That didn't do very well. It was shut down within a year. From there, he left Ubisoft and went to work for a game company called Unagi that was focused on AI and Web3 development. He spent a little bit of time there, and then
it's good when there's like anime profile picture icons around, and you can tell that they've all been customized.
Oh boy, they all use the Ghibli filter. Yeah. All the Ghibli filters.
Character 2.0. Wow. Germany.
Now he's back. He was asked from Variety about nepotism. His response was, "I completely understand where it comes from, and I want to be clear about it. Yes, I'm Yves' son. That's not something I hide from, but my appointment isn't only about family ties. It's about what Ubisoft needs at this moment. I spent the last decade building experience both inside and outside Ubisoft, leading teams, managing brands, and navigating change in a fast-moving industry. I also made the conscious choice to step away when it made sense to learn and grow elsewhere." So, great decision, everybody. Business is businessing.
If you give him the games that can't fail, he can't fail.
like a phone game with Rainbow Six characters in it that totally failed.
Any mobile Ubisoft game. I mean, you could have saved us some words there.
I'm trying to figure out what Unagi made. Unagi's first game was a Web3 fantasy football platform with NFTs, launched in April 2022.
You know, FIFA. What if it wasn't a game? What if FIFA was just cards?
Unagi partnered with the French Football League to launch their official Web3 fantasy football game on Chili's, which is, I don't even know what that is. Unagi launched a time-limited game for UEFA Euros tournament. Is there anything besides fantasy football on blockchain? No, that's all. They said they launched 4 games, and all 4 of them are fantasy football NFT blockchain games. Good job,
and
bud.
Basketball and fantasy basketball
and fantasy basketball.
I mean, this look. This is look, video. People forget this. Video games are a family business. Where would we be without the great lineage of the Hausers and the Benzies and your Sweeneys?
Sure.
There's a long
father
legacy.
To son.
Absolutely, it's craft. This is a craft skill.
This is such garbage. Like, go fuck yourself. What
None
are you talking
of this makes
about?
Sense. It sounds like the kid came up with this idea.
Yeah.
Just give me the good games, and then they can't fail.
Yep. Or Tencent was like, you should give it to your son. We can shove him around all we want. He doesn't know shit. Like, all he's made is fucking fantasy football NFT games.
How are the Guillemots still in charge of Ubisoft? Didn't they get sued to hell and back? Actually, no, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah,
but I didn't think that they were still around.
Nope. It's a family-owned business. The majority of Ubisoft is owned by the Guillemot family. They've never let control of it slip outside. In fact, that was what was so big about this investment, was it's the first time that they're doing something with an outside entity is going to have control over some of the biggest, some of these huge franchises for video games. Bad choice, 0 out of 5. Would not do if I were you. I think that
maybe he can be an ineffective CEO. Maybe he will be so toothless that Tencent will just run in, parade him around as like a figurehead.
Yeah. I love it because instead of a slow, awkward decline, this is like you just turned the sports car and put it directly at the concrete wall and just slam down on the accelerator.
I do that.
Yeah, let's make
that when I only got a minute in the queue. I can't do a new lap.
Let's make the next Far Cry game filled with Web3 NFT fantasy football players, and you got to play it on your phone.
Yeah, your
sounds
little
great.
side guy can be like a monkey.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I think we're going to finish up this segment with one last horrible AI story. We got the news. We had the big Microsoft layoffs that happened a few weeks back, but this is such a sad story. Apparently, some of the layoffs at King have talked to was this mobilegamer.biz and said that a bunch of them spent the last 2 years working on AI models that were then used to replace them. So
this will be an inflection point, especially here it is for King, but for a lot of other development companies where you build a tool. Like back at a previous job, I built a little web tool to make show notes. It was built just for this podcast. It was very specific. And I was always a little hesitant about saying that I had made this thing, for ostensibly for someone else, because you do get a little worried about replacing. I mean, we're talking about the people who make Candy Crush.
Right.
They can already procedurally generate the levels, and so now I guess you've got a system that can, I don't know, come up with copy and can make the little level that looks like it zooms up on Candyland, or it's a shame. It's a shame because this is a procedural game. This should be a game where everyone who makes it can enjoy it for forever, and presumably the developers could also as well.
Yeah. How much savings could there possibly be for? I don't know. Maybe there's a lot. Maybe it's a huge number of people. But I never thought of Candy Crush as a game that needed a team of 400 developers with 2 satellite studios working around the clock to get the new. I don't know. I've never played Candy Crush. Maybe it's got more than I'm thinking. But
I assume that workforce is spread up across a bunch of different mobile games that are. Similar but not the same, and so maybe this is not specifically Candy Crush. It's just more general King apps, one of which is Candy Crush. But it's a real shame because if I made a tool like that, I would want to feel like, okay, that's a permanent contribution I've given to this company that I have wholly given up. It's complicated. I guess it gets complicated, in especially because we're talking about Candy Crush. We're talking about a mobile game that is intentionally really is just sugar. It's just colors and it's lights and it's a Skinner box.
Right. It would be nice if we were able to. I mean, I don't think that'll ever be the case. So this is just complete fantasy talk. But it would be nice if we had a system that said, if you develop a tool that makes your job obsolete, you will not be fired, because by making that the norm, that like if you innovate yourself out of a job, you're just encouraging people not to. You're just encouraging people to not try any kind of innovation, because like it's easier for me to sit here and build all this stuff by hand, even though I know it could probably be automated. But if I ever automate it, then the company's like, hey, thanks.
Then why am I around?
Get the fuck out of here. Thanks. Now we don't have to pay you anymore. And it's like, well, why the fuck would I even think about that?
And
so
especially in the creative industry, if you were, for example, working on a number of projects, on a number of small projects with a number of handful of people, if you're working on that project and you're not staked in it, then you are disincentivized to even properly maintain it, right?
Yeah. I mean, 100%.
It's really a shame. Who is still left at Microsoft? Who is even going to make the games now? What the fuck? The Microsoft thing has been unfolding for like 5 weeks.
Yep.
And then it's not like this is new. They fired a bunch of people 6 months ago and 12 months ago and 18 months ago.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, the thing that got me real heated like last week or the week before about this is that at some point, Microsoft is going to want to make more video games, so they're going to then have to hire people back. They're going to have to raise their numbers. They're going to have to put together teams, and rather than trying to keep the teams that they already have that know how to work together, that have processes and stuff that are in place, all that stuff matters. Like, there's a spool-up time for creating a new team, especially in creative work, and instead of just throwing away these teams that have been together for decades at some point and just throwing them to the wind is just like, go fuck yourself, but then hiring new people back and creating new, I mean, why not just keep them together? Like, give them
Microsoft
something.
owns the IP and they own the franchises, right?
Yeah. Let them go build something. Be like, you've got 6 months to make something that we can get some ROI on Game Pass, right? Something small, something fun. Do your Balatro. Make your own Balatro. Do whatever you think is right. Like, do something small. Like, you don't have to task them with a 5-year AAA $400 million budget Grand Theft Auto 6. You could tell them to remake XCOM, and it could be everybody's favorite game that they spend a gajillion dollars on. Like, none of this has to be all or nothing. You can make a fucking indie movie or a small game or something fun instead of just continually betting everything on these huge things and then firing everyone if they don't work out.
And for Microsoft as an organization, this isn't new. And right, how fucking old is Xbox, right? This shouldn't be like, they should have a playbook on how to acquire studios, to manage those teams, and to continue to exploit on the franchises and the peoples in there.
Yep.
In a profitable, successful way.
Yep.
And they keep just throwing their infinite money around like that's going to cover over all of these failings and missteps. And now it just means that heads roll constantly, and you're how much institutional knowledge gets lost with this, how much of a brain dump is there when you are regularly firing people.
Yep. It sucks. And then it also just makes you look bad, and then it's a tax on the people that you fire. So there's all kinds of light knock-on things that happen as well. So,
and then also, I mean, who would want to be acquired by Microsoft?
That's a good question.
Other than the most strapped, most exploited, most like needy development studios who will put up with like shitty Microsoft.
So like, Ubisoft, is that what you're saying?
it's like a really bad cycle that Microsoft is in, and I mean, I think we're in a really big flashpoint for Microsoft, both on the gaming side and the non-gaming side.
Yeah,
where like. The past month, Jeff, I don't know if it's looked like this to you, but it seems like Microsoft is done with Xbox. Everything that they've done from this, all the firings, it seems like we're done with Xbox, and we're not telling you. We are going to ride the wheels off of this thing, and you will pay us all the way going.
Right. I I
like
couldn't.
the TVs and movies thing. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot that
small,
happened.
But
yeah.
And granted, like Sony did the same thing also because presumably it's ancillary. But
Right.
on the other hand, this is Microsoft, not just Xbox. You would think like, isn't there like a Microsoft TV and movies store? Like, I'm sorry, what are we doing here if you're not in the business of that? You're a conglomerate.
I also get real pissy about Microsoft because I went and looked up, like during the acquisition time, I went and looked up like how much these companies are worth. Microsoft is a $3 trillion company. Every computer that ships with the that ships with the Windows OS, Microsoft gets a cut of that. They've got the Office 365 suite. They've got mobile stuff. They have a huge, huge war chest. They are bigger than Sony. They are bigger than Nintendo. They are bigger than Apple. So the idea that they act like Ubisoft, like this company with no money, or like Square, or like they act like they're throwing around $69 billion to buy Activision. They're just like, whoopsie doodle, I guess we overspent. Like, let's destroy Arcane. Let's dissolve Tango Gameworks because we can't figure out what to do with them. And it's like, I've given Embracer a lot of shit for doing this exact same thing. And then recently Microsoft has basically just taken that up. And then I take your point. Like the last two things, hardware that Microsoft announced were an ROG Ally branded Xbox handheld, which they had no, all they did was slap the colors and logo on it, and a Meta Quest 3 in black and green that you can stream your xCloud games to a giant TV on, because they don't even have VR games. And it's like, you have a brand, you have games, you have franchises. What the fuck are you doing? Like what the fuck actually are you doing? Where is Halo? Where is Gears? Why can't you make Forza profitable? Like, what the kind of stupid ass company do you have to be to not be able to get an audience for a realistic driving game? Bryce will play it. He'll play all of them. Like,
I've bought plenty of fucking Forza games.
Right.
By the way.
Yeah.
Like it's a real shame, and it speaks. I think this will probably be a big black mark on big tech. I'm sorry, but we're gonna look at the last decade and say big tech has not put up, and they need to shut up.
Yeah.
Like this. I'm sorry. The whole idea of venture capital, venture funding, publisher funding is to put it all out to get it all. It's. Don't you want to make games? And if you don't want to make games anymore, sell it to Tencent and let the president figure this out.
If you don't want to make games, quit buying game companies.
Stop every 4 years telling me that we're really committed to gaming on Xbox.
Right.
Fuck off.
Right. All right, you know what? We're already way over on this first part, so with that, we're going to go ahead. We're going to take a break. We're just going to cool down, and then we're going to go right back into it because we got some hot news stories coming up. Stick around. We'll be right back. And we're back. Ow! And we got more news. There's more news. There's so much news. There's always so much news. Yes. So before we left off, we were talking about layoffs. We did have I don't know. This is just kind of a brief note from ZeniMax unionized. They have their own union, and so when these layoffs are happening, they actually put out like a specific statement because they're involved in the kind of hiring and firing stuff, talking about how basically so one of the big things that happened during the Microsoft shakeup was that there was an MMO that the ZeniMax Online Studios, the ESO guys, were working on. Apparently, it was supposed to be really good. Like there was been this chatter that Phil Spencer wouldn't stop playing it when they showed it to him, to the point where Matt Booty had to take the controller away from him in the meeting because he was just like, I love this thing.
Interesting.
But yeah, they put out a statement basically saying that like they're going into negotiations about how this restructuring is going to work. People are probably going to have to be laid off, but that because they're part of the union, they're going to be negotiating their severance packages and benefits. I think that this more than anything shows, what we were talking about last time, that like union membership has the benefit of, even if you get fired, you get a certain degree of civility and like respect in that process, as opposed to just like, whoopsie doodle, we overspent, you're out of here, bye bye, good luck.
Especially in a corporate machine.
Yes.
Especially in that corporate machine.
Yeah. They also had this interesting thing in here where they said, undoubtedly a future has been stolen from many of us, and our community will never experience an amazing game. Which,
hey, it's emotion. It's tough. It's tough losing this. I mean, I don't know how far along that they were, but to take this team and then tell them we're not going forward with this project that you're here to work on means, you not just the end of everything you've worked on, but also sort of it's not we're retooling it and figuring out not we're going to come back to this, but we're just not doing this. And that's heart wrenching.
I don't know that I've ever really been in a position of doing creative work for like a large corporate structure where you can have something that you invested like years and years of work into that they're just like, nope, like that's it. You're going to stop and you're going to go be support for something else now. And that's got to be, I don't even know what that's like. It's got to be really hard. So
especially when it's creative.
Yeah.
When you've got, writing, art and assets and stuff, that's harsh.
Yep. I kind of wish sometimes that they would just like put this shit on GitHub and be like, somebody else could do it, I don't care.
Yeah.
As opposed to just throwing it all on a, in cold storage on a server somewhere and being like, I guess nobody gets to see it. So
yeah.
Let's see. We also found out that Virtuous, the studio that did most of the work for the Oblivion remaster, is cutting 7% of their workforce. This is about 270 employees, mostly in Asia. Like 200 roles in Asia and 70 in Europe. And this is I don't know. It's kind of a strange story. I think that part of this is, I'm not sure whether there wasn't anything in the story that was about like funding being cut for anything. It's possible that this could have been like more of a traditional video game. We staffed up with a bunch of contractors to get Oblivion out, and now it's out, and we're scaling back to basically, to kind of go into more of a support role. But see, Virtuos also is the one making the Metal Gear Solid Delta, but then they're also doing the Cyberpunk. They're apparently a support studio for Cyberpunk updates, and our next story is that there was just a huge Cyberpunk update, so it's possible that with the release of Oblivion and the release of the Cyberpunk update, that it's just like we had a bunch of people that were brought on for last minute coding and QA and support and stuff, and now that stuff has been released, it's shrinking. I kind of hate that in the
management failure.
Yeah.
You can't put these people okay, you can't find more work for these people, or like, come on, you brought them on.
They also, I didn't know this, but Virtuos also bought a bunch of studios over the last 12 months, Beyond FX, Pipeworks, and Umanaya, and Third Kind Games and Abstraction. So it's also very possible that this is just another case of a studio going on a spending spree during up times, and now that everything is contracting, that they're like, well, now we have to cut a bunch of people from the acquisitions that we made in order to make up for the revenue loss that we're just taking from everything in general. Even though I'm not even I need to go look up whether the just entire gaming industry, what kind of contraction there has been in sales in the game industry, because I think I'm just making the assumption that with inflation and stuff costing more, that people are spending less on games. But I don't know that I've ever actually looked to see whether there's a graph out there that shows like a big oomph down on sales figures.
Yeah, that would be fascinating to see, because I feel like most of my spending is on smaller priced games. I don't know. I guess I do buy a few big ticket games a year, but that would be fascinating to see, because they're still selling consoles. They're still selling games. Someone's buying 2K.
Yep. Well, speaking of Cyberpunk, oh no, wait! Before we get to that, this is an interesting story. So, in the Oblivion remaster,
remember that studio?
Oblivion remaster, there was a door. There was a door, and that door was
here. It's gone now.
No, they fixed the door. The door was messed up. So. There's a door in Oblivion that goes to the Brotherhood, the assassins, and on the door it has their goddess, and they're supposed to be killing their 5 children. This is like the assassin, the goddess of assassins, and their 5 children. Yes. Yeah. And then the remaster came out, and the door suddenly had 7 children on it instead of 5, and everybody was like, what even happened there? And so in their latest update, they fixed it. They put the big red light that wasn't on the door got put back on the door, and the number of children on the door got switched from 7 to 5.
The red light makes it look good.
Yeah.
Was this like an AI thing? Is that why because someone would have had to look at the texture and decide to add 2 more bodies?
Well, I mean, I think that relates to our last story, where it's like you outsource the asset we need a new asset for this door, and some artist in a support studio in Asia was just like, yeah, well, there were 5 before, let's put some more in. There was a big empty space where we could have put some more little figures that were getting stabbed. Everybody was like, but it doesn't match the lore. Good news, everybody. The lore is...
But see, the amount of money they would have saved by being coordinated by that has now been done for free by players to let them know exactly where these problems are.
It's very true.
Thank you, gamers.
All right, from there, we got our Cyberpunk. This has been like...
God, this fucking update. Okay.
This had been like rumored for a while because they keep saying we're done and we're not doing anything else, and then they keep adding stuff in updates. Their last one had the Balatro subplot, as well as like this new chroma thing where you could change the color of cars. They got a new one. There's like 3 new cars. There's new crystal coat technology. There's new photo mode options, and there's also some optimization for some of the back end, like the FSR support got updated. I think that part of this too is the fact that this got released for Mac OS also at the same time that this update came out. Right. So
I have a Mac. I would like to see what that looks like. The response that I've seen so far is that it runs pretty well on the Mac chips, the M chips that they've got. Mm-hmm. But that the 2 things, that the ray tracing is really graphically intensive, and then that you don't want to do the frame generative stuff on it because it uses the AMD one, which doesn't.
FSR.
Yeah. And it ends up costing more than actually using it. So, but Cyberpunk's so weird. I got burnt. I was a day one on Cyberpunk intentionally. I intentionally bought the game knowing and hearing that it was bad. Mm-hmm. But that pretty much ingrained in my mind that this is a bad game that, has problems, and I don't want to be thinking about it. I'm also surprised that they're still touching this fucking game. I thought they already won, and they got everyone to agree that they fixed this game.
I waited until Phantom Liberty was out. They did all the big updates, and that was when I finally went around to play it, and I had a great time with it. And it was like, once they had all of the new expanded abilities, like it was a much more fun game. Instead of getting plus 4% to bullet damage, I got reflect bullets with your katana, and it was like, oh, I actually really like that. Oh, another thing that was in this was auto drive. Like you can now basically set your car to auto drive, and there's even a cinematic camera that you could turn on while the driving is happening that makes it look better. Which, part of the game is this whole the Delamain and all the cyber stuff. So having the ability to auto drive if you want, I'm sure.
Yeah. Whatever.
It's also not like an expansion pack or anything.
It's just a feature. It's just funny to just feel like, oh yeah, here's our new update about the cars, the absolute worst part of that experience, the most unnecessary.
Yeah,
but it's come a long way, I guess.
It has. I don't know.
It's a CDPR.
Do you think you would ever? Do you think you would ever try to go back? Do you think you would ever give it another shot?
Not 2077, but if they make a sequel, I would give it a fair shake.
Okay.
I put my time in. I did my tour of Cyberpunk. I'm not itching to go back, though. I was able to find some enjoyment out of what was in there, and I'm glad to hear it got even better.
Yeah.
So I would like to see what's next, but I do not want to go back to Night City. Thank you.
Okay.
Or not in this SKU.
Well, apparently they're already working on a new one, so you'll get to find out.
2078.
Also, these patches did not go out to the Switch 2 version, but they will be going out soon. So it's on everything else, but
man, how does this fucking game run?
We'll see.
You should do it. Did you have you? No, I'm not gonna make you promise content.
No, the thing is, I considered it, but it's $70 whole American dollars, and I bought this game twice. Like I bought it on the PC and then I bought it on the console, and the idea of buying it a third time on the Switch 2, even knowing that I'm not going to play it, like if it was on sale for $20, I would probably do a video for it, but it's one of the launch games. Yeah. It's like when Elden Ring comes out, like I'm interested to see how Elden Ring runs on the Switch 2, because it'd be cool to have Elden Ring in the palm of my hand, but like I bought Elden Ring so many fucking times, I don't want to spend more money on Elden Ring.
You should put Mii's in Elden Ring. Your character should be a Mii.
Well, God.
You can wear a Mario hat.
Those assholes, they got me with the thing. There's this really cool sword that's in the DLC that I really like, and when the Switch 2 version comes out, they're going to make a new starting class in the game with that sword, so you can play through the entire game instead of having to play like 40 hours to get the sword. And I'm like, even though I played through that entire game five times. Don't do it. Let's see. From there, last week we got a really strange thing that happened to Steam. So a whole bunch of games got delisted from Steam, and the Steam publishing rules got changed to have this new strange thing that says one of the things you should not do, or here is just what it says on Steam: content that may violate the rules and standards set forth by Steam's payment processors and related card networks and banks or internet network providers, in particular certain kinds of adult-only content. This should not be in your games. And then this was like, but this is as much information as was put out there. But then there were a whole bunch of games that were delisted on Steam, and the delisted games mostly seem to be incest porn games. Like there's still porn games on Steam, but if they were specifically like incest,
like very extreme,
right,
sexual stuff that people get, a little squirrely about existing. They're squirrely about these things being out there.
Yes.
So
that all happened, and it's left again. This is one of those things where, I don't know. I get into this argument. I haven't got into it for a long time, but a lot of people online get concerned about censorship in video games or whatever, and I think that this is something to watch out for. Mostly, like because there's not a clear mandate as to what is against the payment processors' wishes. Like, are you supposed to submit your porno game to MasterCard and be like, is this okay to put on Steam, or do you just put it on there, roll the dice? And then, because a lot of these have been out for a long time and then they were delisted, so the idea of like, if you're one of these companies, I don't know, it opens the door then to go further about the idea that like the payment processors are able to then dictate the content is not a thing that rings very well with me.
Visa doesn't rule the world.
Right.
Like, they are not allowed to just make the rules everywhere.
Right. Like, I don't know, would it be, I wonder if Valve might be able to do a thing where like for games like that, they only allow PayPal, right? Like you can only buy this through your PayPal account, as opposed to like you have to put money into a PayPal account and then you have to buy it.
PayPal is also,
is that owned by Visa or
no? It's just PayPal also has like content concerns, and like because this is in a part of a larger moral war against pornography and eroticism. Across the internet, and it's really concerning for all of the reasons you just mentioned, right? Like a credit cards company do not get to decide what is and is not moral or okay,
right?
That's just grossly overstepping the relationship.
Something like this happened with OnlyFans, right? Where they wanted to, that was when they wanted to switch OnlyFans to non-adult content, and it was because there was a kick from the payment processors about supporting.
I think it was some of that, and also some like VC people being weird. But they ended up, now OnlyFans is still what it is. There's still you can still go, but there are. Like, I'm surprised alongside this like payment processor stuff that Steam is not being pushed more to do like age verification or age rating on games, because that's also starting to get around, and it's a really, really troubling sight to see, because it creates an undue tax on everybody, right? Because hey, guess how you age verify yourself? In a lot of cases, it's paying money to somebody.
Yeah.
I'm surprised this UK thing is still back, because a few years ago, the problem with these age verification steps was all of the plans that they laid out were making these little monopolies and these little fiefdoms of only 2 companies are okay to buy the government to decide how old you are.
Right.
Like, so it's an inappropriate position for the payment process to get into. It's a really an ornery time. If you are someone who is interested or motivated by this stuff, you should maybe reach out to your local politicians, because it is a generally concerning topic that it's also like not killing anybody, and so it's not one of the top million things going on in the world right now.
Sure,
but it is outside of getting into all the other rabbit holes we can fall down. It is a troubling trend in certainly our Western society.
Yeah, it's good that you mentioned that UK Online Safety Act, because I kind of forgot about that. There was a lot of speculation that this was basically due to the passage of this act. It was a very broad, like, you've got to keep adult content away from children thing that didn't have a lot of specifics. You were just talking about some of the problems that it has, and that it's that there's a good case to be made that this all happened because of that act, and that it was propagated globally to all users of Steam, or that it could have. I mean, it's also possible that act could have spooked the payment processors, who then said, "We're not going to differentiate with regions. You just have to make this the law of the land globally," which I don't think is good. I mean, just because, like, again, you get into a scenario where it's like, okay, well, if it's incest porn, like, I don't necessarily I don't engage with that, so like, what's the problem? But like, what if they decide that ultra violent games, what if you can't buy Bulletstorm because it's too violent for the payment processor? What if God of War on the PC is decided that it's got too much blood and gore in it, and they don't want you to be able to buy that? Like, it's my money. Fuck you, MasterCard. Like, I will spend it on whatever the shit I feel like.
Yeah,
so
it's really inappropriate moralizing.
Yeah.
From all of these various entities who do not need to be involved. It's,
absolutely.
Very dangerous.
Well, speaking of moral crackdowns, the community over at Ready or Not have been having some difficulty. This is a SWAT game that had a bunch of nudity and stuff in it. Like, there were cases in here where you were like rescuing women that have been trafficked, and they were all naked in a shipping container. There's a level where a guy's got his junk hanging out of the bottom of a ghillie suit. There's like a naked informant that's been beaten up. There's like a kid having a seizure. So the company that made this game last week, a few weeks back, they said they were going to be making some minor changes to the game for its console release, because they couldn't have all this stuff in the console release.
And it's been out on PC for years,
for a while, yes,
for a few years, yeah.
And then people got mad, and so then they actually posted the specific changes that they were making to show what the changes would be. This did not mollify their community. Last week I was a little concerned about this, or I was confused about this. Somebody in the Discord explained to me that this company has apparently they had a very no censorship, it's gritty and raw, we'll never bow down, kind of attitude. So then seeing them make any changes they cultivate an audience that was very on that side. And so then when they went ahead and bowed to the changes, people got real mad, like very mad. Like, I couldn't understand why they were so mad. And then somebody was like, yeah, it's because of their reputation. So, but the story this week is that within a few minutes of them putting out that patch, somebody made a mod that basically goes in and strips all of the pants and the various changes that were made out of the PC version. So we'll see.
This reminds me of what was it? There was another game that had a very similar thing. Was it Rainbow Six Siege, I think, where when it was getting ready for consoles, they were going to make a bunch of similar kind of modesty-based changes. And gosh, if I remember, man, I don't remember how that went, but I do know that game is still, people are still playing that game.
Yeah.
This stuff kind of, whatever. They put underwear on the naked bodies. Sorry about it.
That's kind of where I am. I mean, the idea...
This game had a school shooting level in it.
Right.
Wasn't it going to have a school shooting level in it? Like, what's up?
That was when they divorced from like one of their publishers. I think it was Team 17 after they announced that they even put in a club level after the Pulse nightclub shooting. Like, they're real edgy boys over there. And so then they were like, oh, we're less edgy on the PlayStation 5. And people were like, go fuck yourself. So I don't know. It's kind of like when Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 came out and everybody was saying it was woke, and the developers were trying to be like, it's not, it's fine. And it was like, yes, but you spent the last 5 years being on Twitter complaining about woke and censorship, and it's like if you build that reputation and then you suddenly do a 90-degree turn, you got to expect some blowback. I don't think it's going to do anything. I think it's 10% teacup, and after a couple weeks it's going to be fine. You may lose a few players on Steam, but you'll probably make them back up on consoles. So,
and I don't even think this is 90 degrees. They put underwear on the nude bodies.
That's true.
Like, yeah,
yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal.
They can make their mod not work. I mean, you made the mod pretty quick. They can make that mod continue to work or not. So you'll just have to see what they do in the next few weeks.
Probably better just to leave the mod alone and then just be like, if you guys want to go do that, do whatever. We don't care.
Go do the Steam thing. Mm-hmm. No nudity in our store. Mr. Visa's looking.
Yep. Let's see. In other controversy news, I thought that this one might be interesting to you, Bryce. Apparently, Persona 5 The Phantom X is having a little bit of a problem. From what I can tell, I tried really hard to look into this, and I got bored, so I stopped. But the headline here is that apparently the game has been out in China for a while. The U.S. version is accelerating their story updates and stuff, I think, to try to get to parity with the international version,
which is really common in free-to-play games,
right? But the big thing here is that apparently people have been comparing like the rewards that you get from the Chinese version and the American version, and that the Chinese version is getting like more of the free currency. They're getting better rewards. They're getting more like outfits and stuff from the same price that the U.S. side is paying, and that they are mad about that because they want to play. They want all the same stuff that they're getting from the Chinese version.
Yeah. It's interesting because I think they're probably. It's weird when you have a mismatch on content, right? Like I'm playing Uma Musume, and every part of you look it up, and everyone's like, "Don't! You got to wait for the right one to go, because then that person's going to be the best one for like 4 years."
Right?
Like you're playing catch up the whole time, but you would hope that the odds are still the same. I mean, that's what's weird is like. Hopefully they can say that the odds of pools are the same, but I guess people are upset because they're not.
I don't know about the odds. I do know that there were a few specific examples. There's a huge Google Doc that I started looking through, and I was like, I don't understand this game enough to entirely understand like the difference, but it was just like when you get X reward, Chinese players get 2 units of credit and US users get 1 user of credit. So it was literally just like a difference in the amount of the individual currencies or the number of rewards that you were getting for like a login bonus or out of a specific thing. So,
and you're talking about potentially different sizes of audience, different ages of audience, right?
Yep.
A game player who's been in your free-to-play game for a couple of years already is different than someone who's just on the global release a few months in.
Yeah.
Like there's I would like to see kind of what they say and do in response to this. Cause usually it seems like the whole, they give you free hits Jeff.
Yeah, no, I know. They give you all that stuff up front to get you in, and then in 4 hours in, you're like, oh, here's the roadblock. Here's where I gotta stop. No, but they did put out a statement, a very, I don't know. Thanks for playing P5X. We have received many comments about the operations of P5X. We take your feedback very seriously, and we'll be explaining our future operations plan in the next broadcast. We ask for your patience in the meantime. In addition, we'd like to apologize for version 1.1 live stream being delayed. We'll announce regarding the English broadcast 1.2 ahead of time. Blah blah blah. Stay tuned. Kind of we're considering what to do. We'll get back to you on that type of thing. I don't know. It's fine. I don't know. Let's see. From there, another game that you and I played, the 100-line Last Defense Academy.
Oh, right.
Got an interesting update because apparently there was a story. I don't think that you and I ever talked about this, or I don't know if you were on the podcast when we talked about this, but there was a story where this is the game that was spun off from the the Zero Escape and Danganronpa development guys. Yeah. And they'd spun off into their own independent studio, this 2Q Games, and then apparently in the development of 100-line Last Defense Academy, there was a story where they were like, we have taken out a lot of loans and investment to get this out the door, and if it doesn't do at least somewhat well, that's kind of the end of this project. But they had an interview last week with Bloomberg where they said that, or no, that was the original. But basically they've come out and said, like, we did sell enough. It is working in our favor. Like, we're not going to be closing down the studio tomorrow, which, you know, is a nice story in the midst of all of this studio closures and stuff, to see somebody really making their own passion project. Like, I didn't get the impression that 100-line was like a cash grab battle royale battle pass. Like, it was very Danganronpa Zero Escape. And apparently, like, I read through this article, it got me kind of interested, maybe giving it a try, because apparently it's got this really weird thing where about halfway through the game it switches genres and becomes like this crazy other thing. Yeah, after you do a bunch of that turn-based combat. But it's nice to see success. And from everything I've gathered, 100-line was a pretty high-scoring game and appears to be pretty good. So
good for them. I like those guys. I'm a big Zero Escape fan. I'm a big fan of Danganronpa, and I'm glad that they're making stuff and stuff that feels maybe a little more left field and not what people would expect from these guys.
Experimental. Yeah. And apparently also they're going to be adding some new storylines and patches and expansions and stuff to the game later on. So I don't know, maybe wait and get the complete edition in a year and a half and then be like, that game was really good.
We need to give them some PR training on how to space out some of these. They're working against themselves.
Yeah. Let's see. This was a very strange story to me. Speaking of JRPGs, so there is a Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake that came out last year for the Switch. And there is a Switch 2 version of the game that is going to be coming out. It is not out yet. That apparently is going to have some enhancements, even though I'm very curious what those could be, because that's not exactly a graphical powerhouse. It ran great on the Switch, which is something I don't say a lot of times. I mean, obviously it'll have like 4K and HDR and stuff, but I don't know if it's going to have anything besides that. I kind of looked around and it was difficult to tell. But the big story here is that there will be no upgrading for you, Bryce. You cannot pay $10 to upgrade Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD from Switch 1 to Switch 2. Your option is to pay for the entire game over again on the Switch 2 if you would like to play the Switch 2 version. So
can I just keep playing the Switch version on my Switch 2?
Yes, but it will not have any of the Switch 2 enhancements. So it will be the Switch 1 version running in backwards compatibility on the Switch 2 as opposed to the native version.
I think I'll survive.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just such a weird thing to be like, why wouldn't there be an upgrade path?
I've already been burned by this, Jeff.
Yeah.
With fucking Persona 5. I bought Persona 5 and then they made
with the Royale Edition.
6 months later, they made a whole new version and said, "Fuck you, it doesn't move over."
$70,
Fuck you,
motherfucker.
It doesn't move over.
Yeah, that's some shit.
But I mean, the thing, it's not like this is a live service or battle pass game. It's fucking Dragon Quest. It's a JRPG. It's on the disc. Play the game. Save the world. It's not their fault that you're playing this long game cross generation.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's annoying and it's really kludgy for this to be the answer instead of just like, yeah, we'll figure it out and make something here. But whatever.
Seems like you would make more money if you gave people an upgrade path, because it's not a game that a lot of people would be like, man, I gotta buy the whole game over again for the Switch 2. Like, the people that have already bought it can already play it on the Switch 2, so why not get an extra $10 out of them by converting them to the Switch 2 version?
Because I think there's not going to be value in that upgrade, right? Like,
yep, I don't know.
It sounds like $10 would even be too much for what might be a 4K and maybe HDR, right? Like maybe we don't know.
Yeah.
So it's small potatoes.
Hard to say. Well, speaking of games that will get some upgrades for the Switch 2, apparently those Mario games that you can't buy anymore got some Switch 2 upgrades. This is a Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection that had Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy that for some reason Nintendo only sold for 6 months and then delisted.
Oh, right. It was like an anniversary thing.
But they put out a 1.3 update that added a bunch of adjustments have been made to improve gameplay on the Switch 2. I don't know what that means. That is all that is written on their website. Reddit was making fun of them. I could not find anything that explained what that means, but some update has been made and some amount of good Switch 2 whatever. So
weird. They should I mean, I guess maybe they don't want to put 3D All-Stars out because that's a fucking insane package. Mm-hmm. Even for $70 or even maybe $80, that's an insane package for those games.
Yeah.
And maybe they want time for people to cool down and try to sell them piecemeal. But they're working their way up through the Nintendo like emulation online stuff. Like, gonna be time to start answering some questions.
Very true. Let's see, another Nintendo news. Nintendo is apparently making a Donkey Kong movie. They announced that they're getting together with
this is so strange.
Universal.
I was on the show.
Yeah,
they're making a universe, Mario universe.
But they're making the movie with Universal, which is interesting because way back in the 80s, Universal famously sued Nintendo for the use of Kong with a monkey. They went to court and Universal lost. And that's part of why Nintendo is so litigious about stuff, is because they almost got destroyed by Universal back in the 80s. Also, as a quick note, their attorney was named John Kirby. Kirby, the little pink guy, is named after him. But yeah,
and when he won the suit, it would go.
He just ate the other lawyers. He just sucked the other lawyers into his face. But yeah, there's an untitled Donkey Kong movie. No real.
Then we're gonna get the Princess Peach movie. Mm-hmm. Then we'll get the Toad movie. It will be very poorly received. That will go straight to Nintendo Plus.
So no, what they need to do is they make the Donkey Kong movie, they make Super Mario Brothers 2, they put out the Legend of Zelda movie, and now we're heading for our Smash Brothers Avengers moment where they all cross over into a giant fighting tournament.
Oh my god, if the end of the Zelda movie has the little Smash cross on it.
Oh yeah, like the little, he goes into a room and there's like an envelope and it's got the Smash cross on it. And everybody's like, oh! And then
John Wick and Smash?
And then the same thing shows up at the end of the next Sonic movie, and it turns out Sonic is gonna be
and then the end of Final Fantasy Remake Part 3.
Right.
Everyone's back. It's gonna be like when Shovel Knight was in every indie game for some reason.
It gets patched into Death Stranding 2. There's like a secret bunker that you go to, and it's got the Smash thing. Sam Porter Bridges is going to be in Smash Brothers.
No, it's got to be the girl. It's me. She's Princess Peach.
Oh, Princess Peach. Let's see. Switch 2 players are looking for some new stuff from Nintendo, and this is just a notification. Apparently, there's Nate the Hate, one of the kind of infamous leakers that is able to has had a good track record, has said that there's probably going to be a Nintendo Direct before the end of July, and based on the Donkey Kong Bonanza release last week, that probably means last week of July. I think that's also lines up with the end of the quarter, so it would be a good time for them now that the launch is out and people got it in people's hands to do something to outline how the rest of the year is going to go. Or at the very least, tell me when I can buy Metroid Prime 4, for fuck's sake. That's all I bought that thing for. I don't care about Mario Kart or Donkey Kong. I want fucking Samus Aran.
One day.
Let's see. We got the news that Black Ops 7 is going to be gone into more of a deep dive at opening night live Gamescom, and so that means that in beginning of August 19th, we're going to get more information about Black Ops 7, the worst tickly tease of the entire Summer Games Fest, where it was like, what is this? This looks cool. Oh, it's that Milo Ventimiglia. No, wait, it was a different guy, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know. This certainly looks like an actor. I'm gonna load up the YouTube link here and see.
Yeah, that was
sure
that.
It's in the description.
It was that guy, Milo Ventimiglia. I don't know how to say his name, but yeah, they had the trailer for it at.
Didn't make it into the description of the YouTube video. Wow.
He was in Summer Games Fest, and they had this teaser, and it was this very like
it's like a robot hologram lady, and
all this stuff,
some,
and it was
Inception
like
shit going on.
Is this Mind's Eye 2? Is this the announcement of Mind's Eye 2? And then it was like Black Ops 7. Oh, fuck off. So
I wonder if in like 10 or 15 years, people are going to be nostalgic about these games like they were like cheap summer movies. You know, oh man, remember Black Ops 5? Oh yeah, man, remember Black Ops 5 had that one's with Jean-Claude Van Damme? No, you're thinking of Black Ops 4 : Future War. Oh yeah,
Black Ops 5 was Cold War, I guess.
Brother, you're engaging with the wrong part.
Oh yes, yeah, no, I get you. I think that people already do that. Like I'll read stories about like, oh, they're bringing back this feature for Black Ops 7 that was in Call of Duty World War II, where you were able to crouch slide to the right, and everybody used it in the meta for 6 months. And I'm just like, oh, this is exhausting to hear, let alone engage with.
I'm not a Call of Duty gamer, and so I kind of almost like missed the idea that like people think all games have zombies in them.
Right,
Games that just have zombie modes, and you could just say zombie mode, and people know what that is.
Yep. Let's see. In other Microsoft news, this is a strange thing. The Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 came out.
Oh yeah.
And in one of the levels, they had like what appears to be Banjo Hero, which is like the knockoff for Guitar Hero, like shoved in a trash can on one of the levels in the water park. And
that rules.
Yeah. So this was brought to light, and now Microsoft is like, yes, we are looking into how that got there, and we will be taking the appropriate steps. And people are like, no, don't take it out. Don't be butthurt over this. Just leave it in there. We all know what you did. Like, you're not gonna.
But it looks like they had a similar gag in the Tony Hawk 1+2.
Yes.
So that's. You know,
it was just a few like copies.
Headmaster shaking his finger at you.
Yeah. So I don't know, but.
Tony Hawk proys will be proys. That's nothing.
Yeah. Let's see. This is a very disturbing story to me. I don't know. This is very weird. So there's a YouTuber in Italy that reviews like handheld YouTube or handheld like little Android Chinese emulator machines. And apparently like the police like knocked his door in and took all of them, and they're part of like this specific, it's the Guardia di Finanza, which is like a This is the quote: an Italian militarized police force that focuses on economic and financial crimes. And apparently the idea that was that because these devices come loaded with illegal ROMs from China, they technically it's like copyright
like
infringement. Yeah. And so they took like his cell phone and all of these handhelds, and he might be going to court. So there's a possibility of like jail time if the case isn't dismissed. It was interesting to see. Like, I've always been curious about how the hell those companies get away with loading up a bunch of ROMs. Right. And I guess it's just because Nintendo doesn't want to go through like international copyright courts and try to wrangle with the Chinese government to crack down on the developer or on the companies that are making these. But
my understanding, I haven't bought one of these in a hot minute, was that they just don't tell you they're going to put all these games on there. And
right.
You get it, and you're like, oh, they put the games on here. You know, it's like those people who buy those like free TV boxes. It's like, I didn't do anything. It came with all the Pirate Bay loaded on it.
Right.
Like, okay. Right, brother.
Yeah. So I don't know.
But this is so weird that they like went after this guy. Maybe because they saw him as some sort of like mouthpiece or something. Because 30 consoles is not exactly trafficking. It's
right.
not exactly like big product.
Especially if they're all different. If they're all just different handhelds. So yeah, this is Francesco Salasini, I guess, aka Once Were Nerd. So
best of luck.
Yeah, he already has a GoFundMe up for legal fees, and it looks like it's.
And it says that they aren't even like telling him what he's charged with.
Yeah, it's a lot more opaque than anytime you rub up against the way the justice system works in other countries, and you're just like, oh yeah, they don't have to do that here. Right. So the cops busted in and took all his fucking Chinese Game Boys and his cell phone, and then they were like, show up to court and maybe we'll tell you what happened at a certain point. Like,
so strange.
Go get a lawyer. And then last but not least, before we take a quick break, the analog 4K N64 that was supposed to be coming out this month has been pushed back to late August of 2025. This is due to, obviously, tariffs and international stuff. I think that Analog has been kind of playing a game to see what the final result's going to be, and they've decided to just pull the trigger. They even came out and they said, we're absorbing the cost. Your pre-order price stays the same. No additional charges. Late August, the wait ends. Reviews go live with everything we've been saving for this moment. This is a $250 modern console that plays like actual cartridge N64 games. It does 4K upscaling. It's got a wireless controller, all the bells and whistles from Analog. I've always been kind of curious about these. I know they made the Game Boy one, and then they made the N64 one. When you guys make a PS2 one, I will buy that. I will buy the absolute shit out of a PS2 one if they manage to make one. Yeah,
they got to figure out the emotion engine. $249 seems cheap to me. I mean, I guess, if this was like, all manufacturing's like is a sticky wicket with pricing, but
right.
$249 seems cheap for me. I guess, it's still N64. You still have to have the carts. Maybe this thing plays ROMs or something. But I mean, pardon me if any of the Italians are listening.
You're gonna get those Italian financial police coming to your house.
But yeah, the tariff situation. It seems like there's certainly a lot of threats going on with the tariffs, but no one's exactly sure what those numbers are going to be.
Right. Yeah, it looks like they're currently out of stock. They do make some really nice devices though. There's these really clean. I wish there was a PlayStation 2 one, because I desperately want like what do they call there's like a hardware emulator thing,
like the FPGA.
Yeah, the FPGA for PS2 that just like runs it native, not an emulation, because
you want to borrow my PS2? I've still got one. It's a fat one.
No, I've got a PS3. I've got one of the PS3s that has PS2 backwards compatibility on it. I just,
fucker.
I want something that's slicker than that in order to be able to in order to start like having a PS2 library. Anyway, I'm sorry.
That someone that there's like a Commodore 64 FPGA that they announced.
Yep. I did see that.
It's so interesting that this is. I mean, that there's, I guess, enough of an audience to support any sort of manufacturing run with this stuff. I'm not itching for an HDMI-enabled N64, but I guess there we go.
If they had a PS2, I would totally buy it. I'd spend almost $500 on a PS2.
Why? But you have.
I want one that does all kinds of fancy upscaling and is cool and stuff and has, I don't want to plug all that shit in.
What if they made a mini PS2 and it had PAL ROMs?
I would buy that. I would buy the hell out of that. I'd buy that tomorrow. I'd buy it tomorrow. All right, with that, we're going to go take a break. When we come back, we got a whole buttload of trailers, so stick around. We'll see you in just a minute. And we're back. Ow! And that means it's time for trailers. It's time for the trailers.
We're hitting the trails.
Weird trailers this week. We're starting off with apparently the new Destiny 2 expansion, Edge of Fate, came out.
Looks like a Call of Duty trailer.
I don't know what in the fuck this is. It looks like Call of Duty meets Control or something. Like it's all in the past, I guess. There's like
on Earth.
Yeah, there's kind of weird like 1950s coded stuff and like regular stuff as opposed to weird cyber 80s guys or something. Like I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. It looks interesting, but then Destiny has always been able to put out really good trailers, in my opinion. It's kind of like Call of Duty, where I love watching the trailers, but there's no way you're going to get me to play the actual game itself.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. This one was this one. You know what? Oh wait, I just realized. This is the Warframe 1994 or whatever, the throwback Warframe did the same thing, right? Where they had kind of like,
I don't know.
Warframe had this big thing where you went 1999. You went back in time to like the initial Warframe stuff, and it was all nostalgia coded. But I'm having a hard time with this trailer understanding whether it's like they have all this iconography of like going back in time, but then the gameplay all just kind of looks like Destiny stuff in the future. So I'm not sure.
There's like a Control, like SCP sort of vibe to some of it too.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, maybe, there's a haunted phone and we just have to keep it in this 70s looking ISO room.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it's out, and I guess I could go play it if I wanted to know, but I don't really want to know, and I don't really want to play it.
There we go.
It is interesting though. I wonder how much longer Destiny has, because as I understand it, the launch of this had pretty low for Destiny 2, like sub 100,000 concurrent players, which are it apparently was not great. Like it was not. People weren't engaging with it as much as they expected, and with some of the previous stuff. So
I mean, this is the challenge of a long live service game. I mean, it's not a subscription game, but you got to entice people to buy these expansion packs then.
Well, especially because the last one like wrapped up their big story they've been going on for a long time. Yeah. Well, trying something new, starting something new. So,
oh wow. Okay.
Apparently, there's also, I think I read a headline somewhere that like you could turn into a Metroid ball in this expansion. I'm like, okay, I guess if that's what you're doing, sure.
Good for the Destiny 2 players. They, you know what, they're getting fed.
Yep. Let's see. In other online news, we got the Marvel Rivals Season 3 Battle Pass trailer, and apparently everyone's getting Venom or Phoenix outfits. So we got a Venom outfit for Jeff the Shark, as well as Squirrel Girl, and like a Phoenix outfit for like Wolverine and Emma Frost and like a few other people.
Does this move the needle for you?
No, I mean, I played a little bit of Marvel Rivals like when it first launched, but just like every online game, I don't know. It takes a lot to get me to stick with any kind of online game. None have managed to do so. Overwatch used to be able to do it because you could log on and get your weekly bonuses, but they've all just kind of turned into a bit of a grind for me. So probably not. I do think they had twerking Venom a little while back, like leading into the silly side. As a
should have made Jeff the Shark twerk, you're saying?
No, but like one of the things that they showed off in this trailer that they're doing is because Spider-Man has the black Spider-Man costume. One of the emotes is the silly dance that he does in Spider-Man 3. Okay, yeah. The goofy dance that he does in Spider-Man 3. So it's nice to see that Marvel Rivals is out there, especially given Overwatch a reason to have to like figure out what they want to do with their lives.
Yeah.
But
these people are really attaching to it.
Mm-hmm.
In a good way.
I keep talking about Call of Duty, even though I don't actually play it, but I'm always interested to see who they're shoving in Call of Duty. And
What
apparently, American Dad is now in the Call of Duty. So we got a Stan Smith and then a Roger in a mech suit.
We just joked about this. I swear to God, is this a sequel episode podcast? Because last time I was on, oh my God, and it's the fucking oh my God, I'm watching this trailer for the first time and I love it.
Yeah,
when they did the animation domination in Fortnite, Ricky Spanish,
Ricky Spanish,
God.
Yep.
I said this. We needed American Dad in Fortnite, and you could do Roger, and I specifically read that Ricky Spanish. Oh my God, that's actually cool. Sorry, that's so stupid and cool.
Yeah, the only thing I really don't like about these Call of Duty ones, I had the same problem when they had the ballerina one as a few of the other ones, is that they don't their mouths are glued closed. They're glued closed. So it's like they don't have expressions that happen when they're shooting or stuff. And like it's a little less noticeable here. It's a little noticeable when you're watching the trailer because the Stan and Roger are talking the entire time, but none of their lips aren't moving.
Oh, yeah. And it's a first-person game. They should have just animated it for the trailer.
Yes,
Maybe.
yes. But I mean, this is kind of like the last one they had was Beavis and Butthead, and then this is the new one. I do wish if there was like I have to say that I'm somewhat tempted if there was some emote for the Ricky Spanish skin that stopped the world and whispered Ricky Spanish, because I love that shit. Yeah, there's also the Genie Gold one for Roger. So
I love Genie.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm
I get it.
Did I will this into existence? Did I do this?
I think it's the same thing that I had where I'm like, wow, that's cool. I'm not going to play Call of Duty though. Like I would actually
they put Roger in like an alien's a
mech suit.
Mech suit, yeah. So that his hitbox is pretty normalized.
Yeah. Yeah. It's what they did with Morty, I think, in Fortnite, was they put him in the suit that the dog wears in Rick and Morty so that he was the right size. So but
clever.
Yeah, pretty cool.
They look really weird with the cell shading in the like Fortnite looking Call of Duty world. I've never seen Call of Duty look this colorful.
I wonder if people are actually using, because I had the same thing with the Beavis and Butthead skins, about whether people are actually using this, because like Stan Smith has a big bright head and it's got to be really easy to aim for that jawline. So
it's like a big walking target.
Yeah. Let's see. Speaking of online stuff, we got some more information, movies and TV stuff. We got some more information about the Invincible fighting game. There was actually 4 videos for this of different characters, and they announced Rexplode, who they hadn't previously shown off. But we got some actual, this was announced, and we got some kind of teases for it, but we saw some actual, in-game match stuff showing kind of combos and the way that the game plays. It's like a tag match fighting game, and it looks like they don't exactly have X-ray attacks, so to speak, but they have incredible amounts of blood coming off of these characters when they're fighting, huge gouts of blood that just cover the individual characters. So I know Invincible is it's a pretty popular show, but I never expected them to make a fighting game. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good implementation, because I know they've had a few narrative phone games and kind of visual novelish stuff. But when you watch Invincible, it's all action packed. You want to have the action, and given that it's a fighting, the show's about people fighting each other. This is as good an implementation outside of a full third person action game. This would be easier to develop and probably get you, fighting game fans love a new thing. They just put out a Hunter fighting game last week, and I was like, okay, why?
Cool. Interesting. Is that out now, or is that coming out?
It's coming out. It's not out yet. I don't know if it has a full release date. I don't think Yeah, I think they're still kind of working on it. So,
okay.
But yeah, looks good. Let's see. From there, we got some. Speaking of fighting games, we got a gameplay trailer for Sagat, who just got added into Street Fighter 6. We had some cinematic stuff for it, but now we got some actual gameplay for it. I don't know if I've just been like not paying attention all these years, or if it's just been a while since I've seen. Because I don't really keep up with the Street Fighter stuff, but Sagat is huge.
He's a big guy.
He is so big. Like, it shows him fighting Ryu here, and Ryu's like, a foot shorter than this guy, and Ryu probably would be looking down at me. And it's like they have to like expand the vertical to zoom out a little bit for these matches.
Oh man. Are you into Street Fighter 6? Are you following any of the other character updates?
Not really. I thought it was an interesting idea. Like, I liked this kind of weird open world fighting thing where you could run around the world and get trained by people and make your own avatar. But when it came out, there was something else out and I just kind of missed it. And then now it's got that problem that a lot of games have where it's like, oh God, there's so much content in this thing. Like, I don't know if I want to try to get back into it at this point. But I mean, apparently, like, I don't see a lot of stories or a lot of stuff about people disliking the direction that the game has been going recently. So I'm assuming that it's worked out pretty well for them. Yeah. But, yep.
Cool. And they got the classic Sagat colors too. The shorts. Yeah,
yep.
Tall guy. He's a tall guy.
He's a big guy.
A big fella.
He makes M. Bison look like a little kid. He's just like throwing him around and kicking his ass. Let's see. Speaking of crossovers and fighting games, we also got the trailer for Ken Masters coming to Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves. So now you can have Ken and Terry Bogard, the world's two blonde himbos of fighting games, kick each other's asses. Even though a lot of this trailer was the homeless Street Fighter Ken, I just tried to get my kids back, Ken, as I think they call him. In the story, it's like he was framed and he had to go on the run, and so he's like living rough, but everybody has just kind of had him as this like loser dad working construction or something like that. But
this is so they're describing. Are you describing this weird? This sounds really weird.
Anyway, it was a lot more interesting in this trailer when he went back to his classic costume, because it looked much more. I don't like this Street Fighter 6 costume for Ken. I don't.
I did not. I hadn't even heard of Fatal Fury: City of the Wolves.
Yep, it was the sequel to Mark of the Wolves. Came out earlier this year. Had a weird story mode that you could do where you kind of went around the map and you could level up and get stronger and fight the same guys over and over again. I apparently it was okay. Like, it did okay. My friend Michael, who plays fighting games, he was like, because I bought it for him and then we did it for the show, and then I was like, you keep this. I know I'm not gonna engage with this. But he's like, I haven't even really gotten into it just because there's been other stuff to take up my time. So I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see. Fatal Fury. Now, speaking of stuff that is up my alley, we got another trailer for Space Adventure Cobra: The Awakening, which is a game based on this old ass anime. The guy in the red suit with the gun arm and the blonde hair. A lot of people might know it. I know it mostly from the Matthew Sweet Girlfriend video that used this anime extensively in the music video. But this is a new kind of like 2.5D Metroidvania that they're making that looks like pretty fun. It's got, stills and like a lot of the voice actors that did the English voices for the show, and some interesting little like kind of gameplay things. There's his little gun arm has a thing where you can kind of curve the bullet around like in slow motion. And it looks like it's got a bunch of, kind of little set pieces based on the old anime. I don't know. It looks really fun to me. There's also some different playable characters. Yeah, seems fine.
Yeah, it seems like a love letter sort of game. Like, hey, we made a little this kind of looks like almost like a Mega Man sort of. There's stuff going on, but very zoomed out, sort of like sort of feel to it. I got about halfway through this trailer and I thought, what does this guy look like? I'm just seeing a guy in red pants.
Got some red pajamas over here. Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to give it a shot.
It actually looks nice though for like one of these side-scrolling games. Like it seems like, they've put a lot into the way it's presented.
Yeah, it reminds me of there was like a few years back there was like a Mazinger video game, like one of those old like 80s, 70s, 80s like giant robot game animes where they were like, yeah, nobody gives a shit about this. Let's throw it to some company to make like a kind of medium, AA budget indie game that can give you some nostalgia. We get to use all the nice art from the series and like music and the iconography and stuff. And you get a pretty decent product out of it. So yeah. Can't wait. What I can wait for is Bloodline, a Rebel Moon game. Do you remember Rebel Moon, Bryce? Do you remember the cinematic masterpiece Rebel Moon? Zack Snyder's like $300 million Star Wars thing that was made for Netflix. It was like 2 huge movies that I didn't watch. I don't know anybody. I've never heard anybody talking about Rebel Moon. But now you can play a phone game of it from Netflix Games. Is this why they shut down? Did Zack Snyder make them pay like $200 million in licensing for the hot Rebel Moon franchise?
Yeah, so they give up Monument Valley.
Yep.
They traded it. They traded Monument Valley in the divorce. When the DVD people left, they took Monument Valley.
This is like a pretty standard, like top-down kind of ARPG. I couldn't tell you whether it has anything to do with Rebel Moon because I did never watch Rebel Moon. So, but if you want, you can go play that. I don't even know. Is it on the Netflix Games?
Yeah, I suppose so.
I guess.
What a gigantic waste of time and money.
And it was made by Super Evil Megacorp that they made that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate, which was like Hades.
With the good one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And some other games I don't recognize any of these. Vainglory and Catalyst Black. Nice art. I don't have any idea what these are, but
I don't
It looks like an AI. It looks like if you typed like futuristic action anime Eastern.
You got a guy with a staff, a lady with like 2 double-ended like lightsabers. They're not lightsabers, but they are bright saber.
Here's a robot with a bow and arrow that doesn't look like it has anything to do with the robot. Like,
give him a gun.
He's a robot with a bow and arrow.
Put it in his chest. He's a robot. Thunk, thunk, thunk. Like, come on.
Yeah, just uninspired as all shit. So,
well, get that bag, Super Evil Megacorp. What a fantastic waste of human, like a mass destruction event of time and creative energy on the species.
Yeah, I can't play that Bethesda game, but I could totally play that Rebel Moon phone tie-in.
Tactical missions.
Tactical missions.
We're getting tactical here on.
Play your way. Unlock your potential.
Level 1, level. They even have the level 1, level 50 meme. Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
Okay. We got a trailer. Borderlands 4 Claptrap is back. Trailer, speaking of things that people probably don't care that much about. In science fiction universes.
He's back. Claptrap is back.
He's back. We definitely got a different voice actor because that same guy, like, there's a big controversy where they didn't pay the voice actor for Claptrap for Borderlands 3.
Wait, really?
Yeah. I don't know. But, like, I don't know why they're so weird about Claptrap because they're like, yeah, we know people think he's irritating and shitty and stuff, but we put him in the game. And in fact, we even put in a volume slider just for Claptrap's voice. So if you want to just mute Claptrap, you can do it. And I'm like, well, if he's that irritating, don't put him in the fucking game, man. Like, I don't dislike Claptrap. It's part of the Borderlands thing. I don't know.
It's man. What they didn't like, I get it. You're making another Borderlands. I don't know. I feel the same as you. I think just like Claptrap doesn't do anything for me. He's annoying because you make him annoying in the game.
Right.
He's annoying because in the game he doesn't ever shut up because you made him annoying.
Because so you made him shut up.
Made him annoying.
Yep.
So I don't like. What am I supposed to do watching this video of like some of the devs being like, I love Claptrap. Shaky gun appears in frame aimed at his head. So I love Clap. Like, there's not a lot of beats here to this thing.
Right. I don't know. I don't like
consume. This is an $80 game. Consume, piggies.
70. They said it wasn't going to be the high price. So
we showed up for you. You show up for them. Fuck you, Randy Pitchford.
Yeah. Not doing yourself any favors. Just like make it exciting and shit. Quit telling me that you could turn off Claptrap because he's so annoying that you could turn him off. Also,
guess what? I turn all the voices off.
Also, can I just say this? Can I say this?
Say it.
This box art is shit. This Borderlands 4 box art is absolute trash. It's one psycho guy pointing two fingers at the front, and he's like off center, and he's got a solid color background behind him. It doesn't tell me anything about Borderlands 4. It's just another Borderlands game with like a psycho on the front. That I just fuck off. Like,
what if he was pointing four fingers at you?
Sure, yeah. I don't know. Like that would be something at least. Like there's like chains going off of this guy into the distance. What are they connected
to? Maybe they wanted to do the Left 4 Dead thing, but they saw like Valve get legal with that, and so they couldn't do like a hand with like the finger.
Oh yeah.
So
well, his hand back here does have four fingers showing, so maybe that's where you're supposed to.
Maybe it's AI art.
I fucking hate it. I'm gonna have to make a thumbnail out of this image, and it's gonna suck because they fucking put this guy in a shit. I hate it. Anyway, hate it. I don't hate Captain Wayne Vacation Desperation, which is this indie game that I've been keeping an eye on. It's kind of like a boomer shooter.
Like Pizza Tower.
Yeah, it's kind of got a Pizza Tower vibe to its art. This kind of weird, shaky, rough edges, like kind of extreme thing. But there's a demo out, and it's kind of a first-person weird action. I don't know. They don't do a good job in this trailer of showing off. In the other trailer that I saw, it was like he's got this giant cannon that he can shoot, and there's like huge groups of things. But I don't know.
Do you fall? Do you go for these boomer shooters? Are you a big boomer shooter?
None of them have managed to keep my attention long enough. Like I played the Warhammer one, and then I kind of got bored and I stopped.
Bolt gun.
So yeah. This is kind of interesting. Like I'm kind of interested in it, but then I didn't play. I fell off a Pizza Tower, and I fell off of what was the other one that with the green guys. It has a similar art style.
I don't know. Are they the same team? Is it?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
It just looks a lot like that Pizza Tower
game with art style like Pizza Tower.
Did you mean you wanted to order a plane ticket?
Anton Blast. Anton Blast was the name of it. Anton Blast. Yeah. It had a not exactly the same, but this kind of overwrought, kind of pixelated. I kind of consider it like early 2000s like art style. And then it was
did
like
you read the YouTube description for the Captain Wayne? They call it 90s Cartoon Network style.
Yeah,
and I wanted to bury myself. I wanted to jump into a big hole.
Yes, your childhood is now nostalgia bait. Yeah.
It's also not 90s. It's early aughts.
True.
Clearly early aughts.
Very true. Very true.
Speaking of cartoons.
Yeah, speaking of cartoons, My Friendly Neighborhood is getting a console release. And I think that also they could put this on Game Pass this week. So for anybody who forgot, My Friendly Neighborhood was... it's like a first-person kind of action-adventure game where there was like a studio that used to have a kind of Sesame Street-style puppet program, and it's been shut down.
Puppets.
Yeah, and then you go back, and all the puppets have kind of gone crazy, and you're shooting at them with like the main gun is like a little Rolodex that shoots letters, so it shoots like A's and B's and C's, and there's like a shotgun version.
Oh, that's good.
And Yeah, I really liked what I saw. Like you can knock down the puppets, but then you have to have like duct tape to tie them up, or else they'll just get back up again eventually. And I don't know. I really liked what I played about this. I never went back and played it all the way, but having these kind of goofy puppets kind of come at you like zombies, being like, oh, let's have some fun. Like it was a good twist on the whole animatronic horror thing by coming up with something that I thought was interesting.
If someone makes a RageSelect puppet mod for My Friendly Neighborhood, I will play it. I will play it.
Where all the
where either you play as Jeff, or you have to take down Killer Jeff.
You play as Jeff, and then all of the puppets are Jason's. You got to shoot them. But yeah, My Friendly Neighborhood is great. I'm glad to see that it's getting console release, and like I said, it's already out on Game Pass. So if you didn't play it, go play it. We also got an announcement for a game called Agent of Strange. There was this very odd trailer. It's like this kind of Victorian like mystery thing where there's people talking about the main character, and they have differing stories where they're like, oh, I heard that the conspirator was like he shot a bunch of agents, and it shows them shooting, and they're like, well, I heard that he bribed them, and it shows them doing that. And then there's like, oh, I heard it was a man with a scar on his face, like, oh, I heard he was a very beautiful lady. And it's kind of like zoomed out, kind of 2D side-scrolling sort of adventure thing. I don't really know what's going on here, but this is from the team that made The Life and Times of Sir Bronte, which I heard was really good. I never played it, but I heard was a very good kind of choose-your-own-adventure, like these points that you spent on doing stuff. So even though this trailer is very kind of like rough, it's not super high frame rate, it's very kind of zoomed out, it's a little primitive as far as the models go, all that can be made up for if there's an interesting kind of premise that is executed well. And I would assume that, or I'm hoping that this particular team can do something, because I would like to get in and see what's going on. So
because this kind of teaser, I feel like I didn't exactly get. I guess it's a narrative game. I guess I know for some reason near the end of the trailer, I thought like, wait, is this like a co-op multiplayer game? I almost for a second thought like, what about am I leading? But no, I mean like, this will be a narrative game. This looks cool. It's got a really interesting like theatric or like stage play sort of aesthetic almost, with the spotlights and the like set backdrops almost.
Yeah, I could see that. I wonder if it's going to be the sort of thing, like what I got out of the trailer was that it might be the sort of thing where you can change your story and it literally changes the story. Like you're not like it's like you're watching this thing play out, but you can actually make choices that will then change your character from a man to a woman, or if there's like some kind of narrator or some kind of storyteller, or like points where you get like a whisper that then change the way that things are set up, like, or it could just be like a very choose your own adventure where you have a lot of different paths and you could choose how you want to play the game, and then it leads you into different interesting narrative directions, which, as I understand, is what happened with the Sir Bronte game. So
cool.
Yep.
Agent of Strange.
We got the Age of Restraint Golden Idol Investigations launch trailer.
You know what I thought was interesting watching this?
What's that?
Is like that thing we just saw on screen was not what that screen looks like. That's not what that screen looks like in the game.
Yep.
Like that's cool that I don't think that's that guy's name.
Yep.
Like
when they
stuff like that.
When they made the trailer for the first DLC, after we played it, like we played it when it came out, and then I watched the trailer for the first DLC, and I realized that the trailer was showing incorrect solutions to puzzles that didn't exist in the actual game, and I'm like, good on you guys, good on you guys.
Good shit. I am digging. I think I finished the first two, maybe just the first one.
Are there three total or four?
4. I want to say there's usually 4 in these DLCs, either 4 or 5. I guess 4. It's cool. It's
interesting.
It's great if you like doing the Sherlock Holmes thing. It still works.
Yep.
Moving words around. It's cool, and I'm still on board with some of the changes that they made for this second Golden Idol game, where they just give you the words easier, and they show you what things are a little easier. I think it was a smart idea to get rid of some of that busy work.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, this is interesting. Very like kind of Atlantis coded, right? Like kind of
very futuristic sci-fi.
Yeah. But weird, but in that weird Golden Idol way.
So cool.
Yeah. Let's see. We also got the launch date for Dreams of Another. This is a game I've been kind of watching from the Pixel Junk developers. It's a game you can play with or without VR, and it's a whole game about this kind of voxel world where you have a machine gun that you shoot into the blurry voxels of the world in order to coalesce them into things. I'm very unclear about how this game works because it seems like a very narrative-focused, like...
It looks like the opposite of Power Wash Simulator.
Right.
Dirtying the place up with shit, with stuff.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if you have like a limited amount of ammo, so you can only like focus certain things into existence.
Got just a damn gun.
Yeah. Because it's like the main character just has like an MP5. I don't know. It's very weird. I'm going to be looking at like the reviews for this to tell whether I should actually be checking it out because I'm very on the fence. Have you seen this before?
No, I hadn't. It almost looks like one of those Dreams games. With the very, very textural, very particle effects based. It's called Dreams of Another.
Yes.
Do you think they
made it in Dreams? I don't know.
They wouldn't have made this in Dreams.
I don't know.
Especially after they shuttered Media Molecule. No.
Yeah, it's got that like bubbles, that kind of bubular, bloopy quality to it. That some of that stuff has.
This would be weird in VR. Especially because they're not. I don't think that they're showing us any first person. It's a lot of third person over the shoulder view.
Yes. I don't know if it goes into first person in VR, but I don't know. We'll see. Let's see.
What else we got?
We got to pick it up a little bit. Eric's Home, The Stolen Dream launched this week. This is this kind of Victorian stealth game where you play as a little girl and like the cops come, they're looking for your brother, and you kind of run away from them, and then you've got to kind of sneak around to this kind of top-down perspective through the environment. We played it for RageSelect. It seemed okay. It has very high scores for a game that I thought was just okay, and it's also pretty nice. It looks nice. Like the characters, the environments all look very nice and polished. The part that we played was very just like hide, run around the guy, hide, run around the guy. In this trailer, it seems like you get more tools later on. You get like a little blow gun that you can knock people out. You can move bodies and stuff. So,
wow, interesting.
Yeah,
I like the isometric view, but then there's still like a lot of detail going on.
Yeah, when they zoom in, it looks really nice.
Yeah.
So
interesting. The Stolen Dream.
Out now. Let's see. From there, I put this one in for you, Bryce. Agent of Veil, which is looks like a big old puzzle game where you play as like a secret agent, and it's got a variety of different little puzzles. The synopsis for it is that you are in training to become a secret agent, but as you go along, you find out that there may be more to this whole thing than you originally thought. As a secret and a mystery gets uncovered. And I almost cut this trailer, but I think Bryce might like to know that this exists.
I want to know. This is cool.
Because it seems like it might be up your alley. I know you're big on the.
I like investigative games and things like that. This is cool. It's weird because it kind of looks like it's set up like almost like an escape room sort of game.
It's very kind of flat and like vector based. It's very simplistic, but then easy to kind of read. So
looks cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna type that one down.
I don't know if it's got like it says wish list on Steam, which usually means that we're pretty early on. But sometimes they have release date coming soon. So
okay,
this is not.
That they have a demo though. That's why.
Okay, there you go. Let's see. I'm going to skip a few things. We're going to go to the launch trailer for Gorn 2.
Gorn.
I really like Gorn 1, and this is on the PSVR 2. I might actually have a reason to plug in my PSVR 2 because Gorn 1 was so fun. This arena-based fighting game is just full of redonkulous blood and guts and gore with these big beefy beefs that you impale on spikes and you rip their arm off and use it to beat a guy to death, and it's violence that's so over the top that it can barely be taken seriously.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're still making VR games.
Yep. Yeah. I think this was on the Meta. Was this on the Meta Quest? I mean, it might have been. But
that's why this. Okay, I looked up Gorn. And I was like, this does not look like much of an upgrade from the original game, and it's somebody playing Gorn 2. So I think it is. It must be out elsewhere.
Yeah, it's out on the Meta Quest. I think it came out a little while back, and then whatever the exclusivity time passed over, so it's now out on the PSVR 2. So we also got the release date for Hide the Corpse, which is a game that I've been kind of interested in, where you basically have this kind of 1970s corpse in your house, this like guy that's coded as like a kind of 1970s like nightlife guy, and you've got a limited amount of time before the cops come to your house, and you've got to hide this body somewhere so that the corpse doesn't get found when they come to your house. You've got to like jam him in a place and figure out how to put him somewhere so that he won't get found out when the cops come to your door.
Wild. That's okay.
Yeah,
weird.
An interesting idea. I don't know that I ever would have come up with that on my own. So,
and they mentioned like modifiers, so it makes it sound like there's like a roguelike element to it.
Yeah, you get scored based on like how fast you did and how well you hid. But then there's like when the modifiers, one of the ones they show is like flatulent or like a bean jar, and then as they're moving this guy, he's like farting out gas. So. Yeah, August 18th is when that's coming out. Again, a reason to plug in your PSVR 2. So, let's see. We got the early access launch trailer for Dead Cam. Speaking of dead bodies, this is a series. I had to look this up because the teaser was just like a camera in a room, and then a guy comes in and then he picks it up. And this is a series. It's like they made like a VHS found footage horror game that's like a series of adventures based on like the idea that you found a bunch of these tapes, and that I guess everybody had this camera and kept recording while they did other stuff. So
trailer jump scared me.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's my impression. I can use. The jump scared me.
Yeah.
I don't know how this ends up being early access, and I don't know. Is it multiplayer? That's a little strange.
It might. I mean, we've seen early access single player stuff that's just not done yet, right? Like where they just have the first 2 chapters, and we're going to put chapter 3 and 4 in later on. But when you look at the actual game on Steam, you can see that it's got a lot more to it than the trailers. There's like monsters that are coming out, and like there's like combat in the game. So
yeah, oh my god, he murked the girl from The Ring.
Yeah. So I don't know, I'm kind of interested in that.
Interesting.
In fact, when you watch the trailer on Steam, it ends with like Dead Cam file number 1 Hitomi, so there's probably going to be multiple files. But
I see. Okay, interesting. Dead Cam.
Wait, what happened to my other trailer? Oh, okay. I moved stuff around. Okay, from there, we got Shark Dentist. Did you watch the trailer for Shark Dentist?
No. It already looks amazing, though.
Apparently, this is like you've got a giant sedated shark hanging from the ceiling, and you have to, like, do stuff to its teeth, like clean up its teeth and remove infections and stuff. There's all kinds of modifiers where if you do it wrong, if you do it messed up, if you fuck things up, then it'll then come to life and it will eat you. That happens at the end of the trailer.
Okay.
This whole trailer, though, I don't know what's going on because the shark dentist appears to be in the same warehouse where like that guy fixed up the Joker and Batman. Like it's like this filthy room. I don't know if it's not like a dentist office.
You can tell this is not one of the good sharks either. He's got scars and stuff.
Right. He's like a man. He's the man-eater shark. It's the man-eater shark. So
I won't spoil how it ends, but
yeah.
Wow. Okay, a little surgeon simulator for you.
Yep, yeah. With a giant shark. I don't know. Like the thing is that. Do you think there'll be different sharks? Will there be some that are smaller, some that are bigger? Do they have like an orca expansion, like a
It's got to be, you got to be working your way through different sharks, right?
Yeah.
Like you got to work your way up to this guy.
Yeah.
They don't start you on the big guy on day one.
You
got to have Jeff the shark.
3x jaws size, so big that it can bite your entire torso off.
Yeah.
So
this shark is actually taller than this lady in this video. Okay.
Yep. We also got a release date trailer for Dead Take. This is an interesting one because I remember when I talked about this, there was a very brief teaser and I talked about it as being published by Pocket Pair, the Pal World guys. So they are publishing this. We got a much bigger trailer. It's a combination of live action and kind of rendered. It's about like a reclusive director, and then you've got these like Ben Starr, Neil Newborn, Laura Bailey, these people that are well known in the industry right here. There's some kind of mechanic where you can like take their audition tapes and like merge them together to get like new footage. There's some kind of puzzle element of like trying to open up parts of this weird mansion in order to get new access to new places. It kind of seems like it's got a combination of like that what was that game from the
Her Story?
Yeah, the one that was about the actress, right? I forgot the name of it.
In Eternity? Infinity.
What's that? Something like that. The weird thing, though, is I was like, okay, so this looks pretty good. I know who's publishing this, but who developed this? And apparently this is being developed by Sargent Studios, which is the company that made that Tales of Kenzero Zhao game, that Metroidvania, Afrofuturism Metroidvania game that came out.
Okay.
And then they had to lay a bunch of people off because that game kind of didn't do very well. But it was founded by this actor, the guy he was in Raised by Wolves, as well as a few other things. I had kind of thought that when they had laid off a bunch of their staff, that might have been the end for them, but it doesn't appear so. It appears that they were able to use their connections to put together this game, and then Pocket Pair is putting it out, and it's coming out July 31st. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, color me intrigued. Like, I like the idea of like this weird, the reclusive director and the big spooky house kind of thing in Hollywood is an interesting concept. I don't know. You heard about this one before I showed it to you today?
I think I had heard of it because it had these, live action actors and actresses in it.
Yeah.
But I actually hadn't really looked into what it was. I think they need to work on the name because I think
Dead Take doesn't.
Dead Take.
Shark Dentist. That really stands out.
Shark Dentist, fucking it.
If they called this game Shark Dentist, I think people would remember it, even though it has nothing to do with sharks or dentistry.
like Disco Elysium.
Yes.
This looks neat. I always like an investigative game. There's like a weird use AI to merge clips together. That's not how any of that works. None of that works like that.
Yeah.
But, all right.
Yep. I don't know. I'll be interested. July 31st, right around the corner. So, all right, let's wrap it up with a few quick things. We got our update for the second half of July with Summer Game Pass. So thought I would throw those out there. The big one is that Wu Chang Fallen Feathers game, which is a new kind of Souls-like game, is coming next Wednesday. We're also getting Grounded 2 on the 29th and Abiotic Factor on the 22nd, which I'm very excited for because Abiotic Factor, I think, is a truly underrated masterpiece. And the fact that it's going to be on PS Plus, it's going to be on Xbox Game Pass, and it's already been in early access on PC for a long time. I'm really hoping that people get on board with Abiotic Factor because I love that game. I fucking love it. It's a survival game that takes place in a knockoff of Black Mesa. It looks very like Half-Life 1, but instead of having to chop down trees, you have to chop up desks and phones and stuff in order to build new science stuff. It's got some interesting horror elements to it. It's got some great exploration. It's great. I really can't wait for people to get their hands on it. So
cool.
They also said that High on Life and RoboCop Rogue City are both out there. We mentioned My Friendly Neighborhood.
I enjoyed High on Life a little. I played a little bit of that on the PlayStation Pass. I think it's fun. You gotta have I guess have to kind of click with the style of humor for it, and also just deal with walking around and listening to a guy talk for a long time. But
You got to be willing to have that Justin Roiland ramble comedy thing going on in your ear. Even though they had a trailer for High on Life 2 and it had like no talking in it, and I'm wondering if it's because Justin Roiland is kind of on the outs right now. So I'm wondering if it's going to have the same thing. Back to Dawn, Wheel World, and Farming Simulator 25 round out the pack. So some good stuff in there. RoboCop Rogue City is great. Everybody should go play that. Or I liked it quite a bit. Bad news, the John Wick Hex game is being removed from sale from Steam and other platforms next week. It appears that this is just one of those stupid licensing deals that ran out, and they did taking it away. That was the weird kind of turn-based game from the Bithel, I don't know how to say it, games. I thought it was okay, but I never really played it. I don't know.
Yeah.
John Wick has got a weird place for me. Sorry.
No, I can go. Yeah, I think I got it like on Epic Games or something and played briefly, but the like turn-based setting up your actions, and it was almost like fights in tight spaces or something, but maybe a little less. I didn't get to see it fully fleshed out, I'd say.
And like the kind of like low-fi abstraction of the graphics, I think did like it. Like I think I might have played it more if it had been like very ultra realistic and visceral, and that I you know, like you can make up sometimes for a type of gameplay that I'm not super duper into by having a really awesome presentation. I realize this was not, you know, a high budget game, so it didn't have that. But I don't know. We'll probably have a thing where we see it come back at some point. Speaking of things that are coming back, the Nintendo or the Sony 30th anniversary PS5 controller is coming back for a limited time. Not the actual consoles or anything, but September 9th, they're going to have a restock of at least the controllers. So if you're interested in that, they'll probably sell out in about 2 minutes. Good luck.
I might try to get one.
Yeah. I got enough PS5 controllers. I got like 4 of them. I'm like, I don't need another one. And then last, we got a few fun things. Somebody made a very, very cool, they're called the Secrets from Monster Hunter, the little kind of chocobo guys that you ride around in Lego. This is from Mitch Builds. They made a Secret, and they made the little Palico, but like this thing is huge, and it's really cool looking. I think everybody should go check it out. The name of the video is I Built Monster Hunter with Lego. And wow. Yeah, what they end up with is this very nice, very big kind of bird.
It almost looks like a Bionicle.
Yeah.
I think I'm Bionicle.
Yeah, I think they used a lot of parts from that. I tried watching some of it, but it's just like a lot of like the whole video is 30 minutes long, going through the process of like figuring out how to build up each individual part of both of the two models and putting them together. So worth a watch. Yeah. The saga of the stapled Switch 2 has come to an end.
Oh my god!
GameStop was auctioning them off last week. We could not believe how much they were selling for. At the end of the day, it was $250,000. That's fucking ridiculous for a broken Switch with the stapler and the receipt and the certificate of authenticity. Stunt bullshit. Fuck you, GameStop. Become an actual game company. Stop doing this.
No, I mean, even saying the money's for charity is fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
Okay.
Still fuck you.
Okay.
Still fuck you. Still fuck you.
Yeah.
And last but not least, I don't know, this is like a little fun little bit. Apparently, the BBC had a segment where they were talking about with Yuki, the UK Interactive Entertainment Association, and they were talking about how some people are preferring the old games, retro games. And while they were talking, they had a series of props on their table. They had like a ZX Spectrum, and they had a Wii, and they had a Super Famicom with an NES cartridge jammed into the top. And people were like, wait a minute, that's not how that works. And apparently this was a thing where the set dressers just kind of did this and nobody asked them about it. And then once it went on the air, the people that brought the props were like, oh no. But by that point they were already like broadcasting and they couldn't do it. So yeah, you've got this fun little screenshot of Super Mario Brothers jammed into a Super Famicom.
Well, sometimes you just got to make it fit.
Yep, got to make it work. Got to make it work. But hey, people are talking. That's what's important. People are talking about it.
Oh no, there's one less NES Super Famicom. Oh no.
Yep.
Oh
no. And that's our show, everybody. Yeah. Thanks, everybody, for dropping by. Bryce, why don't you tell the fine folks where they can find you when you're not over here going down the news with me?
Yeah, I'm back doing the marbles thing. We're on Thursday nights. We got a new earlier time, 8 p.m. Eastern, over on Twitch. If you want all the info, if you want to sign up for alerts, find the Twitch account, we're on Instagram and TikTok now and posting all the socials. Marbles.win is the website, or twitch.tv/Brycas, BRYCAS, is where you can enjoy that Thursday evenings. Thank you.
Cool beans. And hey, if you enjoyed this, it does take time and effort to put all this shit together. So maybe go to patreon.com/RageSelect and kick in some bucks. $5 a month is all it takes. You get access to the Discord server. You get all the bonus videos. You get so many bonus videos.
Like 10 bonus videos? Like 11 bonus videos?
I can't. The spreadsheet is like 500 rows. What? Like, it's a lot of bonus videos. I'm posting them every day on the Patreon.
There's good bonus videos in there, too. I need to get access to that doc because they're good. I know I've been on good bonus videos that I've never even seen.
100. I think that 100 Line Academy was a bonus video, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, if you want to go see what that game's all about, patreon.com/RageSelect. I send out a big email blast every Monday, and then also you can look at the stuff that I've already posted from the back catalog on Patreon. New stuff every day. So if you can't get enough RageSelect, that's how you do it. Also, it helps me eat, so that's a good thing to do as well.
Let Jeff eat.
Let me eat. Actually, I'm gonna go eat right now. I gotta go. I gotta eat. I gotta eat. All right, get out of my house.